Bush spar again.
After Jeb Bush said Trump was not a conservative in Spanish, Trump said, "I like Jeb. He's a nice man, but he should really set the example by speaking English while in the United States."
That's Fox's Kristen Fisher. The Kentucky County Clerk who refuses to give marriage licenses to gay couples goes to court today. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Unexpected.
Outside, 75 degrees, still muggy, hot, and humid, and we have had a little bit of rain overnight. 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The search to find 3 suspects believed to have shot and killed a Northwest Suburban police officer continues, but with a different approach this morning. George Filenko of the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force tells us smaller groups of investigators today are following leads and canvassing a larger area in and around Fox Lake, where Lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz was gunned down Tuesday in the line of duty. County Sheriff spokesman says early this morning, a woman lied to authorities about seeing 2 suspicious men near where that police officer, Joseph Glinowitz, was shot. That report prompted a huge police response overnight. Lake County Sheriff Sergeant Christopher Cavelli tells us 85 federal, state, and local law enforcement officials responded to the scene near Volo after the woman's report. Meantime, that manhunt has been ongoing. Cavelli said 11 police dogs, 3 air support units assisted in that hours-long search until the woman finally told detectives that she had not been telling the truth. The woman, 30-year-old Kristen Kiefer of Vernon Hills, has been charged with disorderly conduct and falsifying a police report, and she is being held this morning at the Lake County Jail. Village of Fox Lake did pull together last night to mourn the loss of one of their finest. Hundreds gathered last night at Lakefront Park to remember Joseph Glinowitz, including his wife, Melody, surrounded by her sons, who gave an emotional speech to the crowd. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease, including 1 death, reported in Quincy. That brings the death toll at the Illinois Veterans Home to 8. Efforts to control the mosquito-borne West Nile virus in Chicago now include spraying with an insecticide called Zenivex. Chicago Department of Public Health says fine sprays of that insecticide are helping control mosquitoes. The city used crews from a company called Vector Disease Control overnight last night in several Northwest Side neighborhoods. It was the 3rd mosquito spraying of the season. A huge political win for Governor Bruce Rauner, as his veto of a union arbitration bill will stand. Illinois House fell short yesterday of the votes needed to override that veto. The bill would have allowed contract talks between the state and AFSCME to be decided by an arbitrator. The House voted 68-34 to override Rauner's veto of the bill. It needed 71 to become law. There were 9 members voting present, and 1 Chicago Democrat, Representative Ken Duncan, reportedly skipped that vote. Chicago sports, Minnesota beat the White Sox last night 3-0. Cincinnati over the Cubs 7-4. Blackhawks agree to a 1-year contract with forward Joakim Nordstrom. Later on tonight in the NFL, the Bears clean up the NFL preseason, taking on Cleveland. It's 5:05. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On Wednesday, September 16th, the Republican presidential candidates are heading to Hollywood for their 2nd debate, and AM 560 is rolling out the red carpet. Join us for big issues on the big screen, a debate watch party at the Hollywood Palm Cinema in Naperville. Watch the debate on the big screen. The best way to get tickets? Buy a ticket to Freedom Summit Chicago 2015 and get a free ticket to big issues on the big screen. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America, Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists, and by DeVal Jewelers.
Hey, one of the reasons we won the Super Bowl in 1985 is because we had a great defense. Hi, this is Mike Ditka. In today's uncertain financial times, you need retirement accounts with defense you can count on. The stock market, it's a roller coaster. It can have a disastrous impact on your retirement. Now, Steve DeJohn and the DeJohn Advisory Team have been growing and protecting retirement accounts for years. Their product of choice, fixed index annuities. Now, these are not risky securities on Wall Street. They are insurance products with protection. If the market does well, so does your account. If the market does poorly, your account is protected. The DeJohn Advisory Team offers hundreds of products for your IRAs, 401ks, or any other retirement money. Call 866-515-6669 or visit retainyourgains.com and request their 10-minute DVD. Tell them Coach Ditka sent you. Call now and see which plan is right for you. 866-515-6669. That's 866-515-6669.
5:06 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the very latest this morning. Here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Well, things are looking pretty good right now on the expressways and tollways. What little overnight road work there was is now gone. No crashes or delays to report at the moment. Enjoy the ride. There will be traffic around Soldier Field tonight with the Bears playing that final preseason game against Cleveland. That's 7 o'clock starts. You'll have some heavy traffic around Soldier Field in the late afternoon, early evening hours, and of course after the game as well. Traffic is a service of Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. The news, a service of Cabela's Fall Great Outdoors Days going on now. Spend $150, get $25 in Cabela's Bucks. Good towards your next purchase. See store for details. And don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season. Going on now at Cabela's. Weather is a service of Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Humid today with clouds and sun with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, high 89, then a shower or thunderstorm in spots for the evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight, low 69. Clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around tomorrow, high 85. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
74 at O'Hare, 78 along Chicago's lakefront, 77 Midway, 69 Aurora. Next news coming up at 5:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fox River Periodontics, Chicagoland specialist with dental implants. To get your smile back, visit implantsforme.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A showdown at the courthouse, despite a judge's order and the U.S. Supreme Court refusing to extend a temporary stay. Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis still would not issue marriage licenses today.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero, the love of my life for the last 26 and a half years.
Somehow there are comparisons made so often, which is interesting. Comparisons with Kanye and myself. I don't quite get it.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Thursday morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Amy Jacobson, sitting in for Dan Proft, and sitting in for me is one. Oh, wait, don't laugh. Don't give it away yet. It's a man who used to be paired up with Dan's former partner at the different station.
I thought you were talking about his dance partner in the Dancing with the Stars competition. Was that a guy? I think it was.
We're talking Bruce Wolf. Welcome so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me
welcome
here today.
So much. I mean, welcome. I saw you outside.
You want to start the show over again?
No, I don't do do-overs. I saw you this morning. You scared me in the parking lot. I'll have to admit.
I shouldn't say boo at 4:30 in the morning. Should I?
A slow approach might have been better.
Really?
But I thought I told you to come here at 4:30, not 3:30.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to ingratiate myself with you so much that I wanted to be here like at 4 to go over, stories and things like. I haven't worked in 7 months. I don't even know who's running for president.
Oh yes, you do.
So I wanted to do a little show prep, but I started negotiating with you yesterday because you said, "Oh, don't get here before 4."
Like, no.
4:30.
That's a little.
And
aggressive.
then you said, "We'll compromise, and you'll be here at 4:15." And I said, "No, we'll have it your way because I got to have,
But still,
I've been married 40 years, so
Yeah.
I think I still don't know anything how to deal with anybody.
Well, if you've been married 40 years, that's a huge accomplishment.
You know what it is?
That is
It
not
really
a lot
is.
of people are married even 10 years anymore.
Really? Well, most people, 500 years ago, were dead by the age of 20.
Oh,
so
so we could factor that into the equation.
We're getting into areas, uncharted waters in longevity. I mean, it's absurd.
How long do you think you're going to live?
What's
Deep,
today?
Dark
What's
questions.
today?
Today is September 3rd.
Well, my birthday's the 11th.
Oh, you too? Same with Phil Rogers and Hal
Sure.
Bernstein.
Well, I know
Hal Bernstein's
Phil.
a photographer and
Channel
5, and Phil Rogers.
Well, Phil
is
and
a
I,
reporter.
with the September 11th birthday people, and I know this was macabre and everything like that. You know the Onion story that came out like 4 weeks after 9/11.
No,
it was
what is
like 9/11 birthday people feel slighted. And I actually 3 weeks after 9/11, I got like a dozen golf balls for a birthday gift, and 3 of them were missing. I don't know what that was. Was it symbolic or something? But yeah, that's my birthday.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're here this morning.
Thank you. It's great to be
and
here.
a lot to get to. We have a great show planned. Congressman Bob Dole will be here. He's the congressman from the 10th Congressional District where the shooting happened in Fox Lake.
And Dan isn't here? He does the greatest Bob Dole imitation.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah. You've never heard him do his Bob Dole impersonation?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Ruth Hogan will be here. She's owner of Paradise Jewelry. She's a lifelong resident in Fox Lake, starting this Blue Lives Matter hashtag.
okay.
So we're going to get rid of Black Lives Matter and focus on Blue Lives Matter. And Ron Carney will be here. He's the NIU football coach. And please don't tell me I butchered his name.
I wouldn't know.
Carney.
What?
Well, we're the home of the Huskies here at AM 560 The Answer. We are broadcasting all of their football games
Well,
and
go Huskies.
some women's basketball games too. Rod
Sure.
Carey will be here. Rod Carey.
Ron
is
Carney used to be on with Jackie Gleason, I believe, on The Honeymooners. I'm not sure. Am I right about that? Sheila McRae. Ron Carney.
Rod
What's his?
Rod Carey.
Well, what time is he going to be on?
He's going to be on at 8:38.
I think by then we're going to figure out his name.
Oh, if we
and
don't-
Northern Illinois is the Huskies.
Well, we know that. Did you go to school at Northern Illinois?
Northwestern.
Oh, you.
What are you talking
another
about?
one of you.
Where did you go to
people.
school?
University of Iowa.
No.
Excuse me. It's an acronym for idiots out walking around, or IO the world an apology.
You know, there's the Iowa Workers Writers Workshop that Flannery O'Connor went to.
Yes.
Okay.
David Mamet went to as
Oh,
well.
sure.
But I've got my own acronym for Iowa.
What is it?
I'm out with Amy.
Oh, there we go. And how many guys were in Iowa?
Not a lot. I kept,
Really?
Yeah, I was
Were
very...
you a shy girl and everything like that?
No, I
Are
wasn't.
we going to get chastised by the program director for not talking about what's going on in the news?
We will. We'll get there. It's a
Okay.
slow roll.
I don't
This
want to
is
get
a marathon.
fired after the first day.
How can you
And I
get
got 2
fired when you're
days.
not hired? You'll
It's
be
true.
okay. This
You
is
can't
a
be
slow
fired.
roll. It's a marathon.
Okay.
No, I was more, and I was just nose down in my studies, and I was an intern in Cedar
Really?
Rapids
I never
during
took
my.
you, I never took you for a studious
Really?
person.
I
No.
graduated Phi Beta Kappa. I was a
From
perfectionist.
Iowa, though.
Yeah. I was a perfectionist, and I had to.
By the way, let the record show
exceed.
that you're about 4 inches taller than I am,
Yeah.
and about 8 inches in those heels. And why are you wearing heels today? We're on the radio.
These are not heels.
Oh, they're not.
No.
Okay.
These
Then
are
you
not
really are a
bad
tall
boys.
drink of water, aren't
Yes,
you?
I am.
Okay.
But the shortest in my family. All right, now that we got that out of the way,
Okay.
the big story
Yeah.
this morning is, of course, the search for the 3 suspects who allegedly took down Officer Joe Glenowich, which his moniker is G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And yesterday during, they had 2 memorial services for him, 2 vigils, one at Fox Lake along the lakefront there was beautiful, and then another one outside the police station that was a silent vigil. Wow. No one spoke at all, but his wife, Mel, came forward yesterday, and she was being held up literally by her 4 sons, and she spoke about her husband.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero, the love of my life for the last 26 and a half years. He was my rock as much as I was his rock. My world got a little bit smaller with his passing. He will truly be missed by all of us.
I mean, it was so
I don't even know how she talks.
heart-wrenching.
How do you speak?
Well,
I don't even know how you do it.
you know, I think obviously, I mean, I don't know what she's going through, but as somebody who's covered people who have lost loved ones before and interviewed them, sometimes it's cathartic.
Right.
To just, you want everybody to know what kind of a great man he was. But so many people have been coming forward, even high schoolers and teenagers who, they were with him in the Explorer program.
Right.
It was a young policing program that he started, and they miss him as well.
Got me back on the right track just because I looked up and respected it. So I feel for Mel. I feel for the kids.
And that was one of his recruits when he was...
No, I mean, the outpouring was immediate. I was watching the wall-to-wall coverage on the TV stations when it happened.
So strange. So yesterday in the afternoon, they changed their strategy in searching for the killers. They stopped with the massive manhunt. They had about 500 officers, local, state, and federal officers out there, and they're doing a grid pattern search for him. Apparently, he was shot down a dirt road in an abandoned concrete
industrial
area. Yeah, and so his last transmission, which we have here, he radioed in and said, "I'm getting out. I'm going to pursue them on foot." And he gave a description of the 3 suspects. You have to listen carefully. 2 white males and 1 black male. He said, I'm going to follow them they went into a swampy area. I'm following them into the swamp. And then she said, do you want backup? And he said, yeah, that would be great. Sure. Backup arrives 2 minutes later. And 4 minutes after that, they found him shot. My sources told me he was shot with his own weapon.
Yeah.
And he was dead.
You have sources? No, seriously. I'm not joking around.
Yes, I do.
No, I didn't know that you were still like a reporter.
Oh, I
didn't know.
do. I still have friends, too.
I just thought you were just like,
and my
the
mom
star.
Loves me too.
I just thought you just read, the news just like I do.
Man.
No, I didn't know that you still have contacts.
I certainly do.
Okay.
And
shot with his own gun.
That's what they believe.
Yeah.
That hasn't been announced officially, but that's what I was told.
Right.
Of course, they're doing ballistic tests, and they're keeping some information close to the vest because those killers are still out there.
Right.
He took his weapon was taken as well, his safety belt, his pepper spray.
Now, you've covered this kind of stuff, for years.
Mm-hmm. Never have I seen this before.
What do you mean? Why is this sui generis?
It looks like a scene out of The Fugitive for me, which I was in the sequel of U.S. Marshals, by the way. But it looks like a scene out of...
Did you play like an anchor?
No, a reporter. Yeah.
Reporter. It was a stretch for you.
And it looks like that. Just law enforcement officers everywhere.
Every
Canine
townhouse,
units everywhere. Farmhouse,
outhouse.
Helicopters
Tommy Lee
overhead.
Jones.
Boats on the water.
Can I tell them?
We'll get into that in a second. But they still haven't caught them. And the first 48 hours are so important. And so yesterday afternoon, they changed their strategy. Now they're working on tips from people. It was a rural area, a closed-down concrete plant, but they're trying to get surveillance footage from businesses nearby. Maybe they could see somebody, 2 whites and 1 African-American walking down the street.
Now, why would I would think that they would have split up by now? Because they know that anybody who sees 2 whites and a black together is going to report them. So they would immediately say, let's split up. Unless one of them, this is how my mind works, one of them thinks, if we let... because the black guy's got to split from the 2 white guys, right?
Yep.
Got
to. These locals or drifters?
Or you have to have 1 white guy and 1 black guy, maybe. I don't know. But anybody who sees a combination of, they're going to get reported. So they got to be split up. And I think the black guy has to go. I'm just trying to think how they would think. But maybe they don't trust each other or something like that. This had to be, spontaneous. So they didn't even know what they were doing.
Didn't seem like a planned attack.
Of course not.
No. That voice belongs to Bruce Wolf. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injuries, 4 miles an hour. That gives us a radius of 6 miles. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse in that area. Checkpoints go up at 15 miles.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, a woman was arrested, but it's not what you think. We'll explain, but first, here's your forecast.
Today, it is going to be warm and humid with some sun, a PM shower or thunderstorm around high of 89. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid, a low of 69. Tomorrow, periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorms around warm and humid, high of 85. Low tomorrow night is 68 degrees. And now it's time for the traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Inbound Ryan, inbound Bishop Ford. We're seeing the usual early morning slowdowns now. Bishop Ford, little slow Cottage Grove to the merge, about a 1-minute delay at the Ryan has a 2-minute delay from 18th into downtown. The other expressways and tollways look great. There is early morning work again on I-80 at Lisbon Road and Morris, down to 1 lane each direction, but no significant delay. Bears traffic tonight. Preseason game against the Browns starts at 7. Expect heavy traffic around Soldier Field later. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
So often on this show, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. And on this show, because there's always so much going on, we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's one of the reasons we're involved with a new website, along with the Illinois Opportunity Project called Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com. At Upstream Ideas, you'll find information that will inform some of the policy discussions that you're having right here on this show and elsewhere. At Upstream Ideas, we want to broaden the parameters of debate and move beyond the same old partisan assumptions. We want to challenge accepted orthodoxies, and we debunk some of the faulty premises that inform the rules on which our free society is based. In other words, we're pushing against the current and thinking upstream. We'll ask, why are conditions the way they are, and how can those conditions be improved? Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. With each visit to Upstream Ideas, you'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized.
My name is Dr. Howard. I've recommended Balance of Nature for over 15 years because of the excellent results I see in my patients. Balance of Nature doesn't make any claims of treating or curing any particular disease, but I think the results speak for themselves.
Well, I had back pain for the last 40 years. 4 days after I started taking this stuff, it's gone.
This summer was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
It's fantastic. My husband is loving the product. I'm so happy that I ordered it.
Yeah, I haven't got sick in a year, first time in my life.
When you can give your body a full variety of 31 different fruits and vegetables in their 100% natural, whole food form, you receive the unmatched balance of nutrition. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
You are a sign business, you want to grow, and you want to make more money. So do I. I want to partner with you. This is Dave Carlson, and my sign company is Franco Carlson & Company. We've been doing business in Chicago since 1894. With millions of dollars of state-of-the-art equipment, we can do any job. Trade shows, bus and vehicle wraps, banners for special events, even custom wallpaper. We can help you expand your sign business. If there is an order, any order, or a piece of business that you don't have the capabilities to do yourself, we can do it with you. You don't have to turn away any sign or print business any longer. Speed and quality to meet your deadlines. And we won't go after your customers directly. You have my word on that. Expand your sign business. Take any order. Make more money. Become a partner with Franco Carlson & Company. Contact me for a quote or stop by for a tour of our shop. Franco Carlson & Company. We are the sign company's partner.
Call Franco Carlson & Company at 773-847-6900. 773-847-6900.
AM 560, The Answer.
We are always here for you. 64636. Type in DA and then a quick comment. This one coming from one of our favorite texters, Steve on I-88. Hey guys, G.I. Joe was so close to retirement, starting a new life. This is so sad. And it's true. Do you know he met on Monday with the police chief to iron out the deals of his retirement? And that's what, it's just heartbreaking. And everybody, rarely do you find someone that everybody in the community loved because he was from there. He went to Antioch High School. He spent his whole life there, 32 years on the force. He was also an Army Reserve. He was in the Army Reserve unit from 1980 to 2007.
Terrible.
So everybody's out looking, not everybody, but, they're asking people to be vigilant. Of course, stay inside your house because these men are considered armed and dangerous. Schools were closed the past 2 days because of this, and we'll find out if they're closed this morning and get that information to you immediately. But last night around 9:30, and this story makes me sick because this person is mentally ill, I think. A 30-year-old girl named Kristen Kiefer, she called police at 9:20 and said that two men approached her car in the town of Volo And I know you're familiar with Volo because your daughter lives there.
The Auto Museum.
Yeah, and later fled into a cornfield. So federal, state, and local authorities, and one of the federal agents that I know was out searching for 5 hours. 5 hours. They cordoned off the area. They did, a grid search once again. And later she admitted that she made up the whole story, Bruce. She said she wanted to, get this, she wanted attention from a family where she was employed as a nanny. Yeah. That's why she did it. And tell me how it affected you.
Well, Amy, and Dan could attest to this. As you know, every story is about me.
Right. Enough about me. Yeah. What do you think of me?
So this is the one day that I've been working in the last 7 months. Well, I filled in for Joe Walsh one afternoon, but this is the one time that I've had to actually get some sleep at night. So and rearrange my schedule. 1:15 in the morning, my wife gets a call. It's from my daughter who lives in Volo, okay? And her husband's out of town, and she's got 3 kids, 4 years old and under. She's saying choppers are overhead because there's a search on. And then we go and I watch the Channel 2 news, and my wife and I are having an argument whether it's live or it's just a replay of the 10 o'clock
Well, it was
news.
real.
It was real.
But the story was fake. And she's
No, but I mean, whatever, with the reports, whatever. And so we're scared to death because this is like, she lives in Volo, and this was like a mile away or maybe less from her house. And so, but then it turns out it's
fake. So Kiefer has been charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct for falsifying a police report, and she's currently being held in jail. Sister. And she has a bond hearing scheduled for this morning.
Unbelievable.
Let's go to the phone line. Here is Mel from the beautiful, beautiful town of Mount Prospect.
What makes you think he didn't commit suicide?
Who committed suicide?
The cop.
No.
Why not? Why not?
Because
Mel,
he was just doing his job, Mel. And he was
No,
out.
no.
We played the radio call. You know what? I'm not listening to craziness this morning. I'm not. I'm not disrespecting him by the officer.
I'm not even going to go there. And I'm the kind of person who will go there, but I'm not going to go there.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sometimes you just want a burger and a beer. You want to go to a place you love, where the food is still made by hand and brought to your table with a side of great customer service. You want to go where the beer is cold and the bartender will remember your beverage of choice the next time you walk in the door. No franchise food here, just comfort food like bowls of homemade chili, soups, and huge juicy burgers made from fresh, locally sourced beef. You know you want to go there right now, and the door is open waiting for you. It's Nick's Tavern in historic downtown Lamont. Nick's Tavern has been hosting generations of patrons since 1945, and now they want you to discover why men and women alike order a burger before they even order a beer, and why a cozy local tavern will make you feel like you're at home. That's Nick's Tavern at 221 Main Street in downtown Lamont. Open 7 days a week. Visit nickstavernlamont.net for hours and menu. Nick's Tavern is a proud sponsor of Feed the Children.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free consultation so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Individual results may vary. Call 1-800-600-7926. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra 10% off your all-laser LASIK procedure. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free consultation, call 1-800-600-7926. 1-800-600-7926.
AM 560, The Answer.
Closing the loop on that last caller. Hey, Dum Dum. If he committed suicide, the weapon would be laying next to his body. Ugh. Anyway.
You were good at playing Clue, weren't you?
Yes, I was. It was Mr. Green in the billiard room with the rope. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, move over, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. We'll explain. And Trump says to Jeb, no más hablar español.
Well, no comprende.
We'll back with
Je ne parle pas español.
Gracias. Let's go now into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 75 in clouds. The search to find the 3 suspects believed to have shot and killed a northern Illinois police officer continues. But there is a different approach being taken this morning, as George Filenko with the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force says now smaller groups of investigators are following leads, and they're canvassing a much larger area than just Fox Lake, where Lieutenant Charles Joseph Glinowitz was gunned down Tuesday in the line of duty. The Fox Lake community remembered the fallen police lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz last night. Widow Melody, alongside her 4 children, addressed the crowd of mourners last night at a lakefront park.
He was the most wonderful, caring, and loving father to our boys. My world got a little bit smaller with his passing. He will truly be missed by all of us.
Glinowitz was a 32-year veteran of the Fox Lake Police Department. A preliminary hearing resumes today in San Francisco in the shooting death of a young woman by a Mexican national who is in this country illegally. The judge is deciding whether to schedule a murder trial for Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez, who has pleaded not guilty to murder, though he does admit to firing the shot. Guatemalan President Otto Molina has resigned this morning in the face of a major fraud scandal. A spokesman says Molina submitted that resignation at midnight after a judge issued an order to detain him in a corruption case that has already claimed the job of former Vice President Roxana Baldetti. Hundreds of would-be migrants have poured into Budapest's main rail station after police stopped blocking its main entrance, but once there, migrants found themselves with nowhere to go. Hungary's railway company says it's suspending all direct trains from Budapest to Western Europe. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease and 1 death being reported in Quincy, bringing the death toll at the Illinois Veterans Home to 8. Governor Rauner's veto of a union arbitration bill will stand. The Illinois House fell short yesterday of the votes needed to override that veto on a 68-34 vote. An Indiana man faces multiple charges following a brutal attack and sexual assault of a woman in the southwest suburb of Willowbrook. Authorities say Lawndale Madison of South Bend was arrested. Search began after that man forced his way into the woman's home Saturday afternoon before beating her, stabbing her multiple times, and then sexually assaulting her. Minnesota beat the White Sox 3-0. Tommy Malone struck out 7 over 7 innings of work. Cincinnati over the Cubs 7-4. And the Bears take on Cleveland tonight as they cap the NFL preseason. The news service of Cabela's and Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days going on now. Spend $150 and get $25 in Cabela's Bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season going on now at Cabela's. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
The Republican Party is attempting to take Trump off of state ballots.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Hey, the party elites don't get to decide who gets to run for president and who doesn't. The voters decide. You know what? They'll never get it. My family before party. My money before party. My country before party. And damn it, you better believe it's my freedom before any party.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days are going on now. Spend $150 and get $25 in Cabela's Bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Hurry into a Cabela's nearest you.
Are you ready to take your diabetes management to the next level? Put the Contour Next meter to the test and challenge your meter. The Contour Next meter makes testing easy and highly accurate with close to lab level results. And J.D. Power ranked Bayer's portfolio of meters highest in customer satisfaction with blood glucose meters. So take the challenge. Go to ContourNextChallenge.com, get a free meter, and enter to win free test strips. Find Contour Next at your local Walgreens.
How do you stay connected to your business when your work has you traveling from Miami on Monday to Tacoma on Tuesday? You call Regis at 1-800-OFFICES. Regis offers drop-in business lounges, meeting rooms, and office space in more than 3,000 locations worldwide, allowing you to work from anywhere at any time, all on your terms. Call Regis today at 1-800-OFFICES and get a free office or meeting room for a day. Regis, here to help you grow.
5:35, time to have Air Comfort check your building's mechanical system and time to check the roads. In our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On 83 in Willowbrook, there's a water main break reported at 63rd Street. Inbound Ryan has delays from Cermak into the Burn Circle, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound fine at 15. 557, 16 minutes, I-80 to the merge, a little slower on Halstead. Bishop Ford, got a 3 or 4 minute delay from 103rd to the Ryan. Edens, Kennedy, Eisenhower still fine. Inbound Stevenson, just a little heavy approaching Kedzie. The tollways are good. And traffic is a service of Boys and Girls Club of America. It's 3 p.m., school's out for America's kids, and when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. Warm and humid at Kevin Snyder's forecast. An afternoon shower or thunderstorm, high 89. A thunderstorm in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy, very humid, and a low of 69. 74 at O'Hare. It is 77 at Midway. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Thursday morning and welcome back to the Dan and Amy Show with special guest Bruce Wolf will be here today and tomorrow filling in for Dan. Dan had to go to New York because this morning Reince Priebus, did I pronounce his name right?
Reince.
I just like Reince. You say Reince, I say Reince. Reince Priebus is obviously the RNC chairman, and he's meeting with Donald Trump to make sure that he does not run as a third-party candidate.
And where are they meeting? Because, you know, Amy, I know something about negotiations.
Yes, and what do you know about
well, I
negotiations?
know is that, for example, the Paris peace talks in 68, 69, whatever.
When I was in my mother's belly, yes.
Yes, you were. Yes,
Thank
you
you.
were.
I was. I know that I was.
I was sitting on my mother's lap. I still am. But, no, here's the thing. It was all about the shape of the conference table. They argued for months about the shape of the conference table for the Paris peace talks between Lee Duc-Tho, cha-cha, a little Dennis Miller reference there, and Henry Kissinger and whoever, because it's all about the feng shui. It's all about the prelims. It's all about where the meeting's going to be taking place. So where's the meeting going to be taking place?
Our sources, because we have sources, have told us that they're meeting at the Trump Tower.
Enough said. It's
in
all
New York, because you know what? This man is a master marketer. So if you want to meet with me, you want to talk about me leaving, come to my home turf with the Trump Tower sign in the background to help me promote me.
And here's the thing. That's where they meet. So this is the mountain coming to Mohammed. And by the way, that reminds me when Barack Obama changed the name of that mountain, Mount McKinley, to Denali, to name it after an SUV or whatever it is.
No, Denali is the native term. It means highest point.
I knew it was one of those things. So
I've been there. I've climbed it.
Oh, really?
No, I actually saw it. I touched the snow on the mountain.
You saw it. That's good enough.
I was there.
Here's the thing. I say, a lot of people are upset about that, and I am upset about it too. But I mean, it could have been worse. He could have brought the mountain to Mohammed.
Oh, hey.
Hi-yo.
Hey.
I guess I don't get rim shots here. Maybe day 2 I do. Anyway, it's all about
this man.
It's all about. I've dealt with worse than you, pal. No, it's all about having where the meeting is going to be. And you mentioned Trump Tower. Does the Trump Tower in New York have the letters Trump on it?
Yes, but not as big as the letters here.
Okay. I have to admit.
Because they say bigger is better.
You're not going to kick me out of this.
I'm not going to kick
All
you
right,
out.
here's
I'm
the
glad
thing.
you're here.
Because the Trump Tower, when they had the letters and everything like that, I said it's ugly. It doesn't.
I thought it ruined the tapestry of the Chicago River.
Exactly. The gentle
we don't need that
undulations, the gentle sweep.
I mean, this is going on and on and on and on and on.
Well, if you let me finish my point here. Okay. But here's the thing. So it was ugly. But you know what? The one great thing that trumps, pun intended, it all? Rahm Emanuel can't take it down. And that's why I like Donald Trump. Because Rahm Emanuel can't take him down. And Reince Priebus can't take him down.
So
and
do
he's
you
upsetting things.
All right. Well, do you think he'll run as a third-party candidate?
Right now, I'd say he's got the leverage. What's the rush? Why? Let's wait. Let's see what
In the
happens.
South Carolina primary, he does have to decide by, I think, September 28th, whether or not he's going to apply as a third-party candidate.
All
but
right.
still, he's leading
right.
the polls right now.
Well, he's the Republican candidate now.
Yeah.
And by the way,
do you like Donald Trump? Because wait for it. Do you support Donald Trump?
At this moment, I like him. Yes, I like Sideshow Donald. Is right. Yes.
But do you trust him, or are you just saying this as part of a radio bit?
No, nobody. Everybody thinks I'm the boy who cried Bruce Wolf all the time, and I'm not. I actually.
Well, what do you
believe
like
him.
about Donald Trump?
I like the fact that he's an upstart. Look, there's three prongs to the oligarchy in these United States. There's big government, there's big corporate. And by the way, people think, well, Republicans like big corporate. They don't, because big corporate loves big government. Because the more regulations there are, that's how you squeeze out Main Street.
Yes, we like less regulation, less red bureaucratic tape.
Right. So big government and big corporate and big media. And big media, if you can't get your message heard at all, and none of these guys, they're all fungible turkeys from Jeb Bush on down, is going to get his message heard. Trump, you know how many people watch that debate in August or whenever it was a few weeks ago? Yeah. A debate 15 months ahead of the election. They're watching it because of Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, my Democratic liberal friends watched it because of Donald Trump. They even had viewing parties. We had a viewing party.
And because of the cocktail dress that Megyn Kelly wears all the time. But okay.
Don't go there. She was my intern for a little bit at Channel 5.
She was. Are you freaking kidding me?
No, and so is Savannah Guthrie in Tucson. But I'm slumming on AM radio. Thank you.
You're more bitter than I am.
No, I'm not bitter. I'm happy. When my friends succeed, God bless them. I am very happy.
Oh, that's the worst when
and
friends
succeed.
I'm
actually happy when my enemies succeed. Mm-hmm.
And what kind of psychotropic drugs are you on or whatever?
All right, so speaking of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yesterday he told Jeb Bush, no hablar español en Estados Unidos. He came forward and just, because Donald Trump always has to attack somebody because that's how he gets in the news. That's how he markets himself. That's how he gets free advertisement. But he came forward and said that Jeb Bush should only be speaking English, not the Spanish that he speaks when he attacked Donald Trump, because he called Donald Trump el hombre no es conservado, which means
a man who is not a conservative.
Thank you. Gosh, you're good.
Well, I could speak.
You're brilliant.
And I don't even know Spanish. I'm strictly anything beyond Yokiro Taco Bell is beyond me.
Come again. But this is how this man operates. Donald Trump, in my mind, in my estimate, is a big bully, and his whole campaign is about hate.
See, to me, Megyn Kelly's a big bully.
No, he doesn't ever talk about the issues. He just
what are you talking about?
No.
Immigration.
He just barks out what people want to hear. I'm great. I'm going to have a great plan. What's your plan?
He's got an immigration plan. Immigration man.
Yeah, he has a 6-page plan, but he doesn't know how he's going to implement it.
He's a big picture guy.
Oh.
All right, we'll get the details out there. We'll get the Dan Profs of the world, the policy wonks, to come out, with stuff like that.
Yeah, but you're talking about 12 million people. I mean, how are you going to get them and capture them and take them out of the country?
I don't know that that's
You're going to put
happen.
them on trains? You're going to sneak them out in the middle of the night while they're sleeping?
But it would be
let's take them out at church, or better yet, where they're at school doing their homework, and they can come in and rip them from their desks at
I'll
school.
tell you, it's refreshing to me
That's not
that he
refreshing.
wants people to speak English in these United States, because once you have two languages, you're balkanized.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Canada, which with the French and the English and the separatist movements, and that's so old school, and I love it. Speaking English in the United States.
So you think it's refreshing that
yes,
he said to
I want to
speak-
hear English in the United States.
You don't want to hear empuje número dos anymore?
People should learn foreign languages, especially at young ages. You should. You should learn a foreign language. It's important. But the language in the United States is one. Do you remember that cab driver testifying before at City Hall about Hispanics? This is about 25 years ago.
Remember.
These cab drivers don't speak no United States.
That's a good story.
So, thank you.
All right, so Donald Trump yesterday, of course, because he always has to be in the forefront, in the A segment of the news.
I wish I knew how to do that.
Well, he capitalized on something else. Kanye West announced during the MTV Music Awards that he was going to be running for president in 2020, and Donald Trump, of course, said, oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Well, he said very nice things about me in the past, and he knows my daughter a little bit, Ivanka, and he said very good things about me, very, very extremely positive things.
And he says that we most Americans, we just don't understand Kanye West, the Chicago and Kanye West.
I was actually watching. I saw him do it, and I said, that's very interesting. I wonder who gave him that idea. Miley Cyrus said, I was going to vote for Trump, but now I'm voting for you. So it sounded like she was all made up for me, and he took her away. He's actually a different kind of a person than people think. He's a nice guy. I hope to run against him someday.
This is, what did somebody say once, that politics is Hollywood for ugly people? Now we got the merger of the entertainment world.
This is what makes me think that this whole presidential campaign is an act. It's a joke. It's a bad dream. I'm going to wake up some morning and it's going to be, that was just a reality show, Amy, that whole thing. We, did behind the scenes footage, and it's going to be airing this fall on NBC News.
So you'd rather have the South Park character, Jeb Bush, with those beady eyes behind the glasses?
No, I don't like Jeb Bush. I'm done with Jeb Bush.
Are you even a Republican?
Yes, I'm a Republican, but I'm done with Jeb Bush. He's the only person during the GOP debate that said, well, if I become president, if, and everybody else said, when I become president. He doesn't even believe himself that he's going to become president of the United States.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Forget Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. We'll explain, but first, here's your forecast with the one and only Bruce Wolf.
And today, it's going to be warm and humid with some sun. We'll have a PM shower or thunderstorm for that Bears game tonight, the one that you don't have to watch at all. Well, you don't have to watch any of the Bears games this year.
Have they scored one touchdown yet?
I think it's all an exhibition season this year. Tonight, thunderstorm in spots, otherwise partly cloudy and humid, a low of 69 tomorrow. Periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorm. Warm and humid, high of 85, low tomorrow night, 68. And we want to thank all of our listeners.
And we want to get the latest traffic from Jim Talamonte. Tell me more.
For listening to us. And now let's listen to Jim Talamonte, the traffic.
Thank you, Amy and Bruce. Good morning. South side of Chicago, got police activity, 47th and King Drive. There's a report of a gunshot victim being transported. No word of any streets closed yet, but responders are in the area. Willowbrook, 83 at 63rd, got a water main break reported. Inbound Stevenson, a little tight, Pulaski to Kedzie, about a 2-minute delay. Ryan has a 3 or 4 minute delay coming into downtown. I-57, 2-minute delay from Halstead to the Merge. Bishop Ford, delay started at 111th. It's now 21 minutes from 8094 to the Ryan. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Got a great night's sleep last night. I snuggled up to my pillow from My Pillow.
You know what's cool on both sides of the pillow?
What do you mean? Oh, so you just flip it over?
It's cool no matter when.
So do you really use your pillow? Because I swear by mine.
My pillow. Yes, love My Pillow.
My dad recently had some back pains, and so I gave him as a birthday gift a pillow.
When did he get that back pain?
My Pillow. He's had it. It's chronic back pain.
Not a week back?
From years going. I don't get it. From years of swinging the golf club. But right now we still have the buy one, get one free offer. So what are you waiting for? Sleep is so important. It helps with headaches, neck pain, back pain that we just mentioned. And I'll let you know how my dad's doing in a week. If you have allergies, this is a perfect pillow for you. You can throw it in the washer and dryer when it gets dirty.
I thought you could sneeze into it.
You can do that too. MyPillow.com, buy one, get one free right now. If you put in the promo code AMY in the left-hand corner of your screen, do it now. Or call this number, 800-489-0201. MyPillow, the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. American-made, tens of thousands of satisfied customers, and a 10-year warranty on that bad boy. Do it now. Go to MyPillow.
What about the pillow?
MyPillow.com. Type in Amy in the promo code or call 800-489-0201.
Maryland 200,000-mile shops are offering car owners 40 hints for money-saving motoring.
Hint number 4. Worn-out tires can cost you a lot more than new tires.
It's true. In the long run, badly worn tires put stress on suspension parts,
which can lead to real expensive repairs.
Worn tires have poor traction.
That's why so many families are riding on Merlin 200,000-mile warranty tires.
What's your family riding on?
Stop in at your local Merlin 200,000-mile shop for details and a free tire inspection today.
At Merlin, more life for you and your car.
If you've been making trails all summer, now's the time to get ready for fall. Follow the trail to your local Merlin shop for a free tire inspection. And right now, you can get up to a $70 rebate on a set of Ford General tires during the Making Trails promotion. Go to merlins.com for locations, coupons, and to make an appointment.
You have the AC on, but part of your house, maybe a room, maybe an entire area is too hot or maybe even too cold. The problem's been there for a while and you just put up with it. Well, it's time to find out why that's happening and maybe fix it.
This is Terry Van Summerman. My company is Air Right Heating and Cooling. Our name says it all. Let's get the air right.
Air Right Heating and Cooling is offering a special deal right now for just $98. They will come to your home and find out why that area or room is too hot or too cold. You pay a lot for your AC. And you shouldn't have to put up with the problem. Sometimes the fix is simple. For just $98, Air Right will find out why you have the problem. So find out how you can get your air right now. Go to getmyairright.com. Getmyairright.com. Tell them you want the special offer to get your air right. Just $98 to get the comfort back. Want to call them? 888-589-8584. 888-589-8584. Air Right. Decades of helping Chicagoland get the air right.
AM 560, The Answer.
The recent shooting of that Houston police officer, Darren Goforth, and now the shooting of G.I. Joe up here in Fox Lake has really put an emphasis on the acrimonious relationship between the public and police. And the Black Lives Matter hashtag really needs to go away. Remember this? This happened over the weekend in Minnesota.
Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon. Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon. Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon.
Well, this morning, the person who organized that event, his name is Trahern Cruz. He said, Bruce, that we've taken this chant all out of context.
If I had a son, he would look like Trahern Cruz.
And he said the pigs in a blanket, fire them like bacon.
Fry them like bacon.
Fry them like bacon. Yes. Well, he said fire them like bacon. He said it was really meant as a playful chant,
sure,
not to incite violence. Here he is on the good old MSNBC station.
I want to put that chant in context. We had a great demonstration that day. It was very exciting. It was so exciting that I think the police who were along escorting the march or wanted to be a part of the march or part of the demonstration. So on the way back, the officer leading the parade kept talking into his microphone and saying things to the crowd like, stay off the medium, do that. He was laughing and joking with the marchers. So then the marchers kind of started chanting that towards him. And it was more playful than anything.
Sure.
Playful.
It was like, look, when Michael Brown threw up his hands, it was like he was joking. Hands up.
I just don't know how, and hats off to the police officers because they have to deal with such an unruly, disrespectful public. And this happened a few weeks ago here in Chicago. Listen to this.
It's all black people that live here, so I got no choice but to like the black people.
Yeah.
You don't like it, move.
I don't gotta go nowhere. Yeah.
The camera's gonna make a difference to you. What
and we don't know what y'all gonna do. Y'all might shoot us.
What?
We don't know what y'all gonna do to us.
He's just trying to get in the mood.
Hell nah. We don't trust y'all.
Doing at a demonstration.
We don't trust y'all. You heard about Mike Brown, no?
World star player. Mike Brown deserved it. He got what he came from.
Yeah, all right. Mike Brown should have shot his in his face. You talking about?
All right, hearing that makes my skin crawl. I was raised to always respect police and to always be a good citizen. And you know, you can question authority sometimes, but if a cop is asking you to move, just do something simple and move.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Your audiovisual experience is one that's supposed to be enjoyable. If your home or office lacks the big-time performance you really need, it's time to be shocked with options from Sound Design. Sound Design has the technical background to build it all. They know the value of seeing a project through to the end, and Sound Design will stick with you until you're satisfied, even post-job. Home theaters, office video, and sound design. Sure, you can go order equipment from a big box store, but then what? Yikes. Sound Design knows they set the industry standard. This is a company that will take a potential new customer to a current customer space to show off their handiwork. That's why people rave about audio and visual solutions from Sound Design. Be sure to get a demo of the Bang & Olufsen speakers, where sophisticated, sleek design meets amazing sound and function. You can visit sounddesigninc.com, but if you really want expert answers to your questions, call 630-548-7000. That's 630-548-7000. Sound Design, where quality service and installation makes the difference.
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. That's right, I'm now Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. I'm the same guy that's provided listeners with honest advice and outstanding customer service for the past 13 years. The only thing that's changed is where I work. When you want to refinance and pay off debt, you called me and I helped you. When your kids were purchasing their first home and you wanted to make sure they were working with a trustworthy lender, you called me and I helped them. If you would like to talk to me about a mortgage, please give me a call at 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333. Email me at david@pearldavid.com. That's david@PERLDavid.com. Or visit my website, am560david.com. 312-751-1333. Pearl Mortgage is an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358, licensed by DBO under California RMLA and MLS 19186. PearlMortgage.com licensing.
If the battery pack in your hybrid fails, that can be a huge unexpected expense. Dan Proft here for Midwest Performance Cars. In addition to complete maintenance and repair of European automobiles, Midwest Performance Cars is a certified hybrid shop location. Their technicians have undergone extensive training and can test and recondition your Toyota or Honda hybrid battery pack at a price hundreds less than your dealer. MPC can also perform a comprehensive pre-purchase inspection on hybrid vehicles and provide an accurate assessment of the health of your hybrid battery pack. The longevity of battery packs is a known drawback of a hybrid vehicle. Midwest Performance Cars offers an exclusive technology that can restore your battery to over 95% of its original performance. Take your hybrid to the dealership with a check engine light and they'll probably tell you that you need a new battery, costing you $3,000 to $5,000. With MPC's battery conditioning technology, you could potentially save up to 50%, keeping thousands of dollars in your pocket. They're located in Chicago's West Loop at the corner of Lake and Ogden. Free Lyft and Uber shuttle service available. Online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com. Midwest Performance Cars, the dealer alternative, an expert source for European auto maintenance and repair.
Hi, this is Dr. David Kolbaba. Glad you're here with us today. HealthQuest Radio is Chicagoland's longest-running health news and science program. I've been an integrated healthcare practitioner for over 33 years now, and if you've been wondering what it's like to be a patient in our HealthQuest offices, well, take a look at our website. Go to healthquestradio.com under testimonials and tales of wonder, right on the homepage, where you'll find many encouraging stories of success straight from our patient's mouth. Would you like to be done with those migraine headaches, get your insulin under control, feel more energetic, maybe having better sex, get that libido in gear again, discover why you eat for every emotion, and then get it under control? On medication and want to be off of it? Whatever health challenges you the most, you can schedule your new patient consult with me just by calling our HealthQuest Radio hotline at 800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, a showdown in Kentucky over the issuance of same-sex marriage licenses. We'll take your calls.
We got a fish story out of Alabama, a catfish story. No, fishing for cats, actually.
We'll explain, but first let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, police say a lie prompts a huge Illinois police response. The latest on the Fox Lake manhunt coming up. Cubs and Sox lose. Bears finish the preseason tonight. Weather after Fox News, WIND, Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. The trains are running again today in Hungary, but there's more chaos in Budapest with the migrants crisis. Fox News Radio's Simon Owen live in our European Bureau.
Dave, hundreds of refugees and other migrants allowed into a Budapest train station after 2 days of being kept out by police. But many say they want to go to Germany, and there are reports of unrest after one train was sent somewhere else, perhaps towards a Hungarian migrant processing centre. Meanwhile, police in the Czech Republic saying they have now stopped writing numbers on the arms of migrants, a practice which critics said was reminiscent of the Holocaust. Dave.
Simon, the Kentucky County Clerk, who refuses to give out any marriage licenses so gay couples can't wed, citing her religious beliefs, goes to court today. Kim Davis faces possible sanctions.
By refusing to give out any licenses, Davis claims that proves she is not discriminating against same-sex couples. A federal judge and an appeals court dismissed that argument, ordering her to perform all of her duties.
That's Fox's Jackie Ibanez. Police still looking for 3 cop killers in Illinois.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero.
Fox Lake Lieutenant Joe Glinowitz's grieving wife, Melody. Donald Trump is still the front runner in the Republican race for president, but what if he doesn't win the nomination? The party's still trying to get him to pledge not to run as an independent. Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus will meet with Trump today about the loyalty pledge the party wants every candidate to make. He caused a bit of an uproar when Fox's Brett Baer asked for a show of hands at the first Republican debate.
Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight.
Meanwhile, Trump is blasting rival Jeb Bush for speaking Spanish at campaign events, telling Breitbart News he should set an example in the U.S. by speaking English. The Bush campaign pointed to the former Florida governor's support among Hispanics. Dave.
This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Unexpected. Partly cloudy, 74 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. The search to find the 3 suspects believed to have shot and killed a Fox Lake police officer continues, but there is a different approach this morning. Lake County Major Crimes Task Force says smaller groups of investigators are now following leads. Meantime, a county sheriff's spokesperson tells us a woman lied to authorities about seeing 2 suspicious men near where a police officer was fatally shot. Lake County Sheriff's Sergeant Christopher Covelli says about 85 federal, state, and local law enforcement officials responded to the scene in Volo after the woman's false report Wednesday night. Covelli says the woman, 30-year-old Kristen Kiefer of Vernon Hills, has been charged with disorderly conduct and falsifying a police report. She's being held at the Lake County Jail. Meantime, the Fox Lake community remembered Police Lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz last night. Widow Melody, alongside the 4 children she had with the fallen officer, addressed the crowd last night.
We all lost somebody yesterday. A husband, a father, a son, a brother, a mentor, a leader, a role model, and a friend, and of course, our brother in blue.
Glenowitz was a 32-year veteran of the Fox Lake Police Department. Other stories we're tracking this morning: 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease, including 1 death being reported in Quincy. That adds up to 8 now, according to health officials who have died after contracting the pneumonia. Meantime, efforts to fight the mosquito-borne West Nile virus continue in the city of Chicago. They sprayed overnight with a fine spray of an insecticide called Zevanex. It's the 3rd spraying for mosquitoes this season in the city of Chicago. A 10-year-old boy is dead after he was shot in a Southside home. Police say the child was struck in the stomach last night when a family member accidentally fired that gun. And the agency that reviews police misconduct is recommending suspensions for 3 officers for their treatment of a woman during a prostitution raid at a Westtown tanning salon. Video captured one officer striking the woman manager and recorded another threatening a Chinese-American woman. Minnesota beat the White Sox, Cincinnati over the Cubs. Blackhawks agree to a 1-year deal with forward Joakim Nordstrom. And tonight, the NFL preseason wraps up as the Bears take on the Browns. The news, a service of the City of Chicago and Cook County. Suspicious activity can be found anywhere, so help keep our communities safe by calling 855-RPRT-2S4 from the Chicago Office of Emergency Management and the Cook County Department of Emergency Management. 6:04 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't agree with the everyone gets a trophy culture.
This is another example of the cultural left coming up with a moronic idea because they believe in change. And, of course, self-esteem and feelings. How much would you be willing to bet that the overwhelming majority of parents who support giving every kid a medal or trophy are Democrats, and the overwhelming majority of those who oppose it are Republicans?
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
How do you stay connected to your business when your work has you traveling from Miami on Monday to Tacoma on Tuesday? You call Regis at 1-800-OFFICES. Regis offers drop-in business lounges, meeting rooms, and office space in more than 3,000 locations worldwide, allowing you to work from anywhere at any time, all on your terms. Call Regis today at 1-800-OFFICES and get a free office or meeting room for a day. Regis, here to help you grow.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
6:06 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the latest this morning with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Slow going on the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway. Delays start around 115th. It is 22 minutes from 89 Ford to the Rye, and I-57 at 17 minutes from I-80 to the merge. The Edens is fine, Kennedy. Traffic is building. We don't have any real significant delays yet. The inbound Eisenhower has about a 3-minute delay. Manheim to Harlem. Outbound just a little heavy. Oak Park Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. Inbound Stevenson delays start at Harlem. 41 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. The Rhine is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. South Side, report of a gunshot victim being transported around 47th and King Drive. Traffic is a service of Cabela's. Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days are going on now. Spend $150 and get 25 in Cabela's bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season going on now at Cabela's. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. Let's get the latest on your morning forecast. Here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Humid today with clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around for the afternoon and in spots in the evening. High 89. Later tonight, partly cloudy and humid, low 69. Clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around tomorrow. Another humid day with a high 85. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
74 at O'Hare, 77 along Chicago's lakefront, 69 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy, with Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan. Continuing next here on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A showdown at the courthouse. Despite a judge's order and the U.S. Supreme Court refusing to extend a temporary stay, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis still would not issue marriage licenses today.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero, the love of my life for the last 26 and a half years.
Somehow there are comparisons made so often, which is interesting. Comparisons with Kanye and myself. I don't quite get it.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
(312-642-5600) is our number. Amy Jacobson here, and sitting in for Dan Proft is a good friend of the show, Bruce Wolf, former partner of Dan Proft.
That's right.
Now just filling in for a few days while Dan is in New York, meeting with the RNC chairman and Donald Trump to make sure that he doesn't have a third-party run. So that's where Dan is.
Dan's imagination.
Yeah.
Meeting, right? I thought he was running for governor again.
No.
Okay.
No, not to that. We'd never do that to Bruce. But this has been a hot topic, an issue, and it's going to come to a head today. And we're talking about the Kentucky Clerk Court. Her name is Kim Davis, and for months now, she has been refusing to grant same-sex marriage licenses.
Why are you not issuing marriage licenses today?
Because I'm not.
Under whose authority are you not issuing licenses?
God's authority.
I don't believe in your God. Did God tell you to do this? Did God tell you to treat us? I don't believe in your God.
I've asked you all to leave. You are interrupting my
You can call the
business.
police.
But her job is to hand out marriage licenses. And she says that her obedience to the Lord has told her otherwise. Now, the Supreme Court, we all know, made their rulings. Yes, it's hard.
And who told the Supreme Court, Ms. Jacobson, that same-sex marriage was constitutional? Who told the High Sparrow, Tony Kennedy, a Reagan appointee, by the way? Who told the Supreme Court that same-sex marriage
They have decided.
protected by the 14th Amendment? God told them that, too.
Sure.
So God told her, and God told the Supreme Court.
Listen, I know that people are upset. I know that
Do I sound
it's
upset?
a divisive issue. I get that. I used to be against same-sex marriage. But after much thought and after people in
You
my...
evolved.
Wait. People... Well, I did evolve. And a lot of people are see that that's cowardly to change your position on something. But I do that all the time because I lived it. 5 same-sex couples are at our school. They're the ones that are the only ones that are still married.
All right, so in other
I
words,
have 2 same-sex couples on my street. Hold on. Let me finish. 2 same-sex couples on my street who are the most loving parents and beautiful people, and they are raising wonderful children.
So in other
How
words,
can I deny them love and the same rights that I have?
You admit to being a flibberty-gibbet. You
Mm-hmm.
change your mind like a will-o'-the-wisp. For all we know, you're going to change your mind back in another 6 months.
No.
Where's
I'm
the
not.
consistency, Mrs. Jacobson?
Well, I'm an Episcopalian too, so that'll
well,
put
that's
the nail
a
in the
church that's
coffin.
dying, right?
Not in my neighborhood, it's not.
Oh,
and
come
we have
on.
a lot of same-sex couples. My pastor
Well,
is
how many
same-sex
children
couple.
do same-sex couples have to create future Episcopalians? Not too
a
many.
lot of them are adopting them from orphanages in third world countries,
Right.
babies that would have just been thrown away anyway. So I'm not going to fault
I
anybody
don't think
for that.
Episcopalianism is going to take with the
Let
kids.
me introduce you to David and David. Okay, Bruce, they have tried several times to get a marriage license from Ms. Davis.
David Ermold and David Moore were one of the couples. I just want her out. Whatever that means, if that means they have to fine her, they have to jail her, whatever that they do, that's not what's important to me. It's get her out of office and get somebody in there that's going to just do the job and do it, not just do it, but do it happily.
Well, she's going to court today at 11 a.m. And their judge, they want a court injunction against her that could include fines, jail time, or both.
And force her to make a cake for their wedding. Look, David, can you
312
mention the introduction? Oh, no.
312-642-5600 is our number. A, what should happen to her? And B, shouldn't she just resign? I mean, if you're in a position and you're not comfortable doing the job and the tasks that are required, wouldn't you resign?
Can you imagine the meeting between David Davis, Uma Oprah? Right, I mean, she should probably quit. Now, I thought you were going to make the ad hominem argument against her that she's been married 4 times herself.
That's another point of contention.
Rush Limbaugh has been married 4 times, and Rush Limbaugh is God.
When you start yelling, can you pull your head away from the microphone? You're going to bust my eardrum, dude.
This radio thing is new to me.
I know. First time, I know. I was nervous too. So, but that other people coming forward say, well, who's she to pass judgment on people? She's been married 4 times. And her argument with her 4th husband is, but recently I found God. Recently I became a Christian.
You're claiming she's a hypocrite. But as La Rochefoucauld said, hypocrisy is the tribute that vice pays to virtue.
312-642-5600. Should she be fined? Should she go to jail? Or she should just simply resign? If she does leave her post, this man, his name is Jim, he's going to be taking over for her. And she says she does not have a legal leg to stand on.
It's all in the judge's hand. I think she's not been following what the judge told her to do. She's exhausted all her opportunities to get a stay or to prolong this. And I think the judge will probably come down pretty hard on her.
I mean, we all don't like to follow certain rules, but rules are in place for a reason, because without rules, there would be chaos.
Can I invoke Godwin's law right now?
Please,
I'm sure
Bruce.
Dan has brought this up many times. When the first person to bring up Hitler in an argument, Yeah, we were only following orders. She's supposed to follow the orders of the High Sparrow, Tony Kennedy, who made it up out of whole cloth. Where did he get that? There's no constitutional basis for that. He made it up.
312-642-5600. Nice impression. Let's go to Frank, who joins us from West Chicago. Good morning, Frank. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Yeah, according to the word of this imaginary God she believes in, homosexuals should be put to death. Now, does she believe that?
Does she believe that? Where does this imaginary God say that homosexuals should be put to death, Frank?
Leviticus. Death shall be upon them.
You know, Pat Quinn used to cite the Bible all the time. Are you saying that a good Democrat like Pat Quinn was citing the devil's word? Is that what you're saying?
Well, this is crazy talk, and anybody that takes that seriously, I mean, the Bible is a joke, in my opinion. I mean, should homosexuals be put to death?
No,
no.
But thank you so much for calling.
That's in the Middle East.
Let's go to Fred now, who joins us from the north side. Good morning, Fred. How are you?
Yeah, the only thing that matters is that's what the law was, that it was passed, and she's there to obey the law. That's the people's whatchamacallit office there, and they're there to get their licenses, and that's simply it. And Dan's comparison and Bruce's comparison with the Nazis doesn't mean a thing, because then she should quit her job. That's all.
Well, I thought if she didn't like it, you have to resign. I mean, I feel bad for people, and I understand. And I work with Dan Proft every day and Marcus Brown, and they are so opposed to same-sex marriage. That is their right. But when it is the land of the law, when the U.S. Supreme Court justices come out and say you have to issue same-sex marriage licenses.
But the law doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to President Obama. By executive order, he has circumvented all the laws of the land. Why can't she do like he does? You know who Charles Murray is? You ever had on the show, the famous libertarian, the bell curve? He's written a book about civil disobedience, claiming that conservatives should now be civilly disobedient. Now, maybe this is taking it a little too far, but the law don't matter anymore.
Let's go to Dan, who joins us from the south side. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning. I just have a few comments here. Firstly, to the gentleman calling about Leviticus. He's taking it out of context. That was law prescribed to, I believe, their rulers at that time, so completely out of context. And furthermore, Bill Clinton signed into law in 1996 marriage between a man and a woman. They need to make an exemption for this woman, as when she was put in position, she was not required to do what is against her morals in the first place. So because they have changed the law and her requirements, they need to make an exemption for her now based on her religious views.
That's
can't
very
they keep
interesting.
Her in the clerk's office, but have her not issue the licenses?
Well, but they would be under her authority, under the cloak of her authority. That's a very interesting argument, Dan. It is specious, however, so we'll dismiss it. It was very clever, though.
Let's go to Mike in Sycamore, who is defending Kim Davis. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, guys. Amy, on her point, I get her religious objection to it, but the law is a law. But I'm just kind of curious. One of these groups is going to go to a mosque or some other religion and force them to perform the same ceremonies under the law. You've never heard one of these activists, and that's what these people are. They're activists.
No, the two guys, Dave and Dave, that I introduced you to, they actually live in Moorhead, Kentucky, and they want to have their marriage.
Name.
I know. Well, it's where Phil Simms was a quarterback, Moorhead State.
That's what I wasn't thinking about.
I was.
Hey, Thursday Night Football tonight.
Thank you. But that's why they're so hell bent on getting their marriage license from that county, because that's where they live. They're not agitators.
Right,
they're not outsiders like other people have been who've been trying to get marriage license.
These are two marriage license in Dearborn, Michigan. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. I'm sorry.
Well, you can yell, Bruce, but back off the mic. All right, Mike.
Yes? My concern is, like I said, you have a lot of these organizations where if somebody objects to it, they'll fly in from out of state just to get on the record that I was denied. And like I said, I've yet to hear somebody go into a Muslim-owned business and ask them to cater the wedding and get refused. And I wonder why that is, because Christians will turn the other cheek and walk away, whereas, our Muslim friends may not be so tolerant and allow that. So I'm just saying, I'm just kind of an oxymoron here. We're in between two pieces of bread, but why is the same standard not held to all religions that's being held to the Christians?
Good point, Mike. More of your phone calls coming up, 312-642-5600. What should happen to Kim Davis?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Here's your weather forecast for Thursday, September 3rd already. Wow.
Warm and humid with some sun, a PM shower or thunderstorm. High of around 89. Tonight for the Bears game, a thunderstorm in spots this evening. And no Jay Cutler. Otherwise, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 69 tomorrow. Periods of sun with a shower thunderstorm. Warm and humid, high of 85, low tomorrow night, 68. Now it's time for a check of traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Bruce. Good morning. Morning, Amy. Got a water main break. Willowbrook, 83 at 63rd Street. We're not seeing significant delays or closures in terms of lanes right now, but we'll keep an eye on it. Inbound Kennedy, slow Harlem to Sayre, 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. The Edens is still good. Inbound Eisenhower, 35 minutes, Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 34. Stevenson is jamming up Harlem to Kedzie, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway, a little sluggish. Elmhurst Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
It's time to get out of the suburbs and enjoy all that the Chicago Lakefront has to offer. Visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com and find a fabulous entertainment cruise experience for two on Lake Michigan. For only $139, you'll enjoy a romantic gourmet dinner and a spectacular view of the Chicago skyline aboard the Elegant Odyssey at Navy Pier. If you feel like dancing the night away, then you'll love the Spirit of Chicago cruise. $115 for two includes dinner and dancing while taking in the stunning views of the Chicago shoreline. For something completely different, experience the best dance club on the water. Take a blue after dark moonlight cruise on the Mystic Blue, featuring late-night hors d'oeuvres and an interactive DJ. This is perfect for a girls' night out or date night. The Mystic Blue certificate is valued at $176 for two for only $88. All these cruise deals are for two people for the price of one. Romance and fun are in the air and on the water this summer. Brought to you by ChicagoRadioDeals.com. ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Now, more than ever, choosing a real estate agent to sell your home is one of the most important decisions you can make.
I'm Ed Lukasik Jr., owner of RE/MAX Professionals. I know what it takes to sell your home.
The Wall Street Journal ranked Ed at 88th in the entire country for closed listings.
I know that there's no gimmick to selling your home, just a strategic marketing plan and the confidence needed to make your transaction successful.
Chicago Agent Magazine recognized Ed as the #1 rank in Will County.
You can hire anybody to list your house, but you'll need the local market knowledge that I have to sell it.
When Ed saw market trends change, he was ready and promptly received a RE/MAX of Northern Illinois Trendsetter Award.
Sure, it takes awards, but it also takes a lot of effort. So why would you try to sell your home with a we'll sell your house or buy it from you kind of agent? If an agent has to promise to buy your listing, then something's seriously wrong.
Call Ed Lukasik Jr. of RE/MAX Professionals, 630-679-5454. That's 630-679-5454. Sell your house with the professionals, RE/MAX Professionals.
AM 560, The Answer.
Text messages pouring in. Here's one. Amy, look up the New World Order book and read the agenda regarding same-sex marriage. We are doomed with your views.
Is that the Episcopalian Bible? I don't
know.
What is that?
People have made the argument that the population rates are going to go down. You know, we only have 7 billion people. We're projected to have 8 billion. But if same-sex marriage is legalized, our population levels are going to suffer.
Well, there is no replacement of white people in the United States. Demography is destiny. I mean, Europe's going to be taken over by the Muslims. And, I mean, you're seeing problems with the immigration right now because of the refugees. But, I mean, that's...
And we're going to have that story at 7:07.
What else can I tease right here, Amy?
No, I don't know. Okay. Well, we're talking about Kim Davis. She's going to court today, and she's being held in contempt of court. She'll either get a fine, jail time, or both. And yesterday she denied yet again another same-sex couple trying to get a marriage license.
Why are you not issuing marriage licenses today?
Because I'm not.
Under whose authority are you not issuing licenses?
Under God's authority. Did your lawyers tell you?
I don't believe in your God.
Did God
tell you to do this? Did God tell you to treat us? I don't believe in your God.
I asked you all to leave. You are.
You got the idea. To the phone lines we go. Let's go to Ann, who joins us from the north side. Good morning, Ann. How are you?
Morning, Amy. Morning, Bruce. Yes, it comes to the point where the Supreme Court could make their decisions. Barack Obama could make his laws, but as Christians, we can't obey them. So we're in a quandary here. She has to go to jail. I guess she can't obey the law. We can't obey these laws.
All right, thanks, Ann. Appreciate the phone call. Let's go to Bill in St. Charles. Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Morning, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Tuesday, I don't know if you heard, there's a flight attendant for a small commuter airline that just happens to be Muslim, and her and CARE are suing the airline because they're forcing her to serve alcohol. to the passengers, and that's against her religion. Just like this lady's, it's against her religion for same-sex marriage.
But she's a government official, and that they don't.
But she should be. I know she should.
But they're both doing jobs that require them.
No, but it's different.
To do things they don't want to do morally.
I'm getting very legalistic here, but unfortunately, it's a very legal thing, and I am an attorney.
Oh yes.
Okay, but don't
Wolf
sue me
Jacobson.
for malpractice.
Sounds like a law firm.
Let's go, Jacobson. Wolf.
We never lost a case, but we never tried one.
Here's the thing. It's different, a private employee versus a government official. A government official has to execute the laws that the government has promulgated.
And that leads us to Gunnar, who joins us from beautiful Winthrop Harbor. Good morning, Gunnar.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi.
Well, I'm a Christian, but I believe that, as a civil servant, she needs to render under Caesar what is Caesar's. And you render under God what is God's. So when she's not a civil servant, her heart belongs to God.
But what if Caesar is blasphemous? Excuse me. What if,
Then she needs to resign. That's all. But she can't be.
Why don't
or
they
she
just?
Could stay with the county. Thanks, Jim Gunnar, for the phone call. I mean, she could stay with the county clerk's office, but maybe have a different job responsibility.
No, she should be like Charlton Heston was with his guns. They're going to have to pry that office from her cold, dead hands.
To Elgin we go. Good morning, Ralph.
Good morning. Hey, this whole thing about the same-sex marriage was based on equal protection under the law. And I'm wondering where the equal protection is for this clerk when you have mayors of major cities who are violating federal law with sanctuary cities, and they're not brought up in front of federal judges and threatened with jail time. But a little clerk from the middle of nowhere, the full force of the government comes down on her.
Right. These mayors have done a de facto secession from the United States of America. She has seceded from the United States.
Let's quickly take Jim here, who joins us from Naperville. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Be nice.
Amy, I'm 100% in agreement with you, and that we need to follow the law, and that's why it confuses me that you flip-flop when you're talking about immigration. You have one position, and yet on this one you're solidly behind the law. When the president continues to flaunt the law, you seem to just acquiesce to all of that, and you've confused me. So I'm hoping.
No, I was honest about my feelings. I said I was against same-sex marriage, and eventually, through attending my church and watching how my neighborhood evolved, I'm not going to treat my neighbors. I'm not going to discriminate against any of my neighbors because they're involved in same-sex relationships, and they are, in my mind, afforded the same equality that heterosexual couples are. I probably won't have a job here tomorrow, but thank you for listening.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
At lifequotes.com, you can compare the rates of 50 top-rated life insurance companies in seconds. A healthy 40-year-old male can now apply for $500,000 of high-quality term life insurance for less than $22 per month. A $1 million policy can cost as little as $33 per month. Females pay even less. The LifeQuotes.com price comparison service is online, private, and convenient. And if your health history is less than perfect, our rater can handle up to 35 common illnesses such as elevated cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and more. We make it easy to search the market in seconds, view the lowest possible rates, and apply online to the company of your choice. 300,000 people have saved money buying life insurance policies through LifeQuotes.com because they liked our direct style of doing business. Visit lifequotes.com today to see how much you could save.
The Home Improvement and Remodeling Expo that Bob Vila promotes is coming back to the Lake County Fairgrounds September 19th and 20th. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or you're in the market for a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this free 2-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their best products and services. Get fresh ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new fence, deck, gutter protection, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and impress your friends and family by getting the hottest home updates. Pick the brains of the experts and hire your next remodeling contractor at the upcoming Home Improvement and Remodeling Expo, September 19th and 20th at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake. This is the Home Expo Bob Vila promotes, and admission and parking are free. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the fight to defund Planned Parenthood continues despite what Mitch McConnell said. This time it's going to the front step of Senator Kirk's office. We'll explain, but first let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. 73 degrees. The search to find the 3 suspects believed to have shot and killed a Northern Illinois police officer continues. This morning, George Falenko of the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force says they're using a different approach with smaller groups of investigators canvassing larger areas. Meantime, County Sheriff spokesman says a woman lied to authorities about seeing 2 suspicious men near where a police officer was fatally shot. Lake County Sheriff Sergeant Christopher Covelli says about 85 federal, state, and local law enforcement officials responded to Volo after that woman's report on Wednesday night. Volo, of course, is close to where Lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz was fatally shot Tuesday. Covelli now says the woman, 30-year-old Kristen Kiefer of Vernon Hills, has been charged with disorderly conduct and falsifying a police report. 6 Baltimore police officers will be tried separately in the death of Freddie Gray. The victim died of a severe spinal cord injury during his arrest in April. In day 1 of pretrial hearings, the judge also refused to toss out the charges against the officers. President Obama continues his trip to Alaska, warning about the consequences, he says, of climate change.
Over the past few years, I've been trying to make the rest of the country more aware of a changing climate, but you're already living it. You've got longer, more dangerous fire seasons in Alaska, thawing permafrost that threatens homes and infrastructure.
Speaking in Northwest Alaska yesterday, the president pointing out Alaskans have been living with changing climate for 20 years. Hungary's prime minister says he plans to deploy the military as part of a crackdown on migrants and human traffickers. The prime minister, Viktor Orban, blames Germany for the influx through his country. The Republican National Committee wants candidates to pledge their loyalty to the party's eventual nominee. Politico says the RNC chief of staff has called at least 2 campaigns asking if those candidates would sign a pledge. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease, including 1 death, are being reported in Quincy, bringing the death toll at the Illinois Veterans Home to 8. Governor Rauner's veto of a union arbitration bill will stand. The House falling short yesterday of the votes needed to override the veto. They needed 71. The House voted 68-34 to override Rauner's veto of that bill. Mayor Rahm Emanuel may be rethinking holding the idea of holding public budget hearings. The second of 3 was scheduled this week, was cut short last night when demonstrators stormed the stage protesting the closure of Diet High School. Meantime, the mayor's floor leader of the city council, Alderman Patrick O'Connor, says the mayor could be asking for the largest property tax increase in the history of the city when he unveils his 2016 budget later this month. We have a recall to tell you about. A Wisconsin company recalling roughly 89,000 pounds of pork sausage patties after officials say consumers did complain of finding small pieces of metal in the product. They're from Kenosha Beef International. The products under recall are the frozen patties labeled Johnsonville Grillers, cheddar cheese, and bacon flavor with a best of date of December 29. The products were shipped to 11 states, including Illinois and Michigan. Chicago sports, Minnesota over the White Sox 3-0, while Cincinnati beat the Cubs 7-4. The news service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP or mad.org. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity thinks Hillary Clinton has more to worry about than her campaign.
If they find those lost 33,000 emails, the one she's deleted, you're going to not only find classified information, the whole Benghazi issue is going to be brought to an entire new level. And instead of worrying about being elected president, her biggest fear is going to be how much time she may have to spend in jail.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is it. Our display should be in the aisle over here. I hope it looks good.
I think that's it right there.
No, this can't be it. This isn't at all what we talked about. Our product looks like it's straight out of the 70s. We have to do something about this right now.
It's no surprise that your company's retail packaging and merchandising solutions are falling short. You left it to that big company who charges you a boatload, takes too long, and delivers mediocre results. It's time to contact Solani & Associates. Solani & Associates has the design solutions for your business. They run with the big dogs, but at a local level. From prototype to fulfillment, you'll have a team that actually cares about how your products are being represented, and you'll get hands-on major market results for a fraction of the cost. Visit Solani.com to see for yourself. That's SALANI.com.
It's no wonder sales have been in the tank.
I agree. We need someone who can personally see our projects through to the end.
Don't wait another day to get the answers to your retail packaging and merchandising solutions. Visit Solani & Associates at Solani.com.
This week at Whole Foods Market, save on organic Gala apples for just $1.99 per pound. Stock up on healthy at Whole Foods Market, America's healthiest grocery store.
I'm Lex, CEO of Balance of Nature. At Balance of Nature, we believe in real communication. Whether you call into the office or hear a success story on the radio, you can be sure it's real, unsolicited, and unscripted conversation.
I really started it from an advertisement, more for my husband than for me, but I decided we should both take it, and I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, that's a wonderful success story.
I know.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
When you can give your body a full variety of 31 different fruits and vegetables in their 100% natural, whole food form, you receive the unmatched balance of nutrition. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
6:37 is our time. Let's get an update on the roads in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens just a little heavy approaching the junction. Outbound, it's fine. Inbound Kennedy, delays start at Harlem. 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 25. Inbound Eisenhower, 40 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 37. Stevenson is 45 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford, 20. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway a bit tight. Elmhurst Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. Traffic is a service of Cabela's. Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days are going on now. Spend $150 and get $25 in Cabela's bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season. Going on now at Cabela's. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. Warm and humid in Kevin Snyder's forecast. We will see an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. 89 for a high temp, 69 overnight. 73 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MyPainChicago.com. World-class treatment for chronic pain. Go to MyPainChicago.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Thursday morning and welcome back to AM 560, The Answer. Amy Jacobson here. Bruce Wolf filling in for Dan Proft today and tomorrow. And Bruce, I don't know if you heard this, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell pretty much conceded, announcing yesterday via an interview through a Kentucky TV station that Planned Parenthood defunding is going to go nowhere this year. He said stripping Planned Parenthood of federal dollars will be a matter for the next president in 2017.
And you wonder why people support Donald Trump, even though he's, pro-choice.
Well, just because Mitch McConnell made this omission doesn't mean that the fight has stopped. Today, a coalition of Illinois pro-life groups are going to be taking it to the streets, actually taking it outside of Senator Mark Kirk's office, and leading the charge is Jill Stanek with the National Campaign Chair for SBA. Good morning, Jill. How are you?
Hi, Amy and Bruce. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. So tell us what's going to happen at noon today.
At noon today, we're going to be standing at Federal Plaza to condemn Mark Kirk for voting last month, being the only U.S. Senator to vote against defunding Planned Parenthood, and encouraging him the second time that this opportunity comes around to vote to defund Planned Parenthood, and also to vote for the 20-week abortion ban, which is going to be coming up in probably September in the Senate.
Well, where does he stand on that? Senator
As far
Kirk?
as we know, he is sold out pro-abortion and is willing to support Planned Parenthood even in the face of all these videos that have come out and what we've learned about Planned Parenthood committing illegal acts at least 4 different ways, and also being willing to abort babies all the way up to 40 weeks when they can for sure feel the terrible excruciating pain of being torn limb from limb.
Well, he probably gets all his news by watching channels 2, 5, 7, 9, and 32, which don't report on these things.
You're right.
And only Fox News reports on this. So, that's what, the media are biased. Although I do note that they did have a Save a Dog campaign on Channel 5. So they want to save dogs, but, chopping up babies, that's another thing. So, but here's the thing. I mean, Mark Kirk, whether you like him or not, I don't know. First of all, he could never it would be hard for him to get elected in Illinois, a blue state.
That's not necessarily true. Most of
so?
Illinois is actually red, except for Chicago, Springfield,
that's a lot.
St. Louis area.
Yeah, that's a lot, unfortunately. Not that he's doing it for election purposes. He probably really believes that, but demonstrate. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And the Planned Parenthood, videos underscore how horrible this is. You'd think that some hearts would be changed as a result of this, but so maybe the momentum is with you.
As far as we're concerned, if he can't be persuaded on the morality of defunding Planned Parenthood, he should look politically at the fact that Tammy Duckworth, who is also sold out pro-abortion, is leading him by 6 points in the polls right now. He is not going to be able to out-abortion Duckworth. He is not going to get the support of Planned Parenthood or Emily's List. So it seems to me if neither one of them are at this point going for pro-lifers, he should at least give us a little breadcrumbs and throw us this defunding of Planned Parenthood and also voting to save the lives of babies over 20 weeks and get some pro-life votes that he's not going to get otherwise.
So you mentioned it earlier, Senator Mark Kirk, the only Republican to vote against defunding Planned Parenthood. But then in response to that, he created his own piece of legislation where he wants to defund those Planned Parenthood clinics that were featured in the undercover videos. Does that bring you any comfort?
No, and as a matter of fact, that was a very interesting press release. It only went to one person, as far as we know, conservative Fran Eaton at Illinois Review. He never posted it on his website. And in that press release, he stated that Planned Parenthood of Illinois was not involved in fetal baby parts trafficking. And so several groups have asked him, how does he know this? Because Planned Parenthood in Illinois has not been investigated since 1999 and is not licensed. So the state has no way of knowing whether Planned Parenthood of Illinois is involved in fetal parts trafficking. The only way that he could know that is from Planned Parenthood's lips to his ear. So it just demonstrates collusion on the part of Senator Kirk, or attempts to persuade Planned Parenthood to go easy on him in the election.
And Jill, in one of those videos, they do mention Cook County Stroger Hospital and
Right.
abortions that performed there. Have you been able to investigate any further on that?
Stroger Hospital at this point is denying involvement in fetal parts trafficking. However, on its consent form, it does say that women consenting to abortion there would be consenting to fetal parts being distributed. So they're talking also out of both sides of their mouth, and that's a public-funded institution. So they should definitely be given a look at, and I understand some legislators are.
Well, Jill, I suggest you give a call to Channel 5, the anchor desk, the assignment desk, and I'm sure, because they have investigative reporters coming out of their ears, I'm sure just as soon as they're finish saving the dogs, that they'd be interested in investigating this, because it sounds like this is ripe for an investigation.
It sure is, and but Phil, the funny thing is, Bruce, that they're more interested in a lion being killed in Africa and a baby panda being born at a zoo.
First of all, Jill, can I tell you, my Cecil support group evaporated in the last couple of weeks. Because what was the latest cause celeb? I forgot. There was some big thing that just happened recently.
In regards to what?
I'm trying to remember because these things have, end in
Jericho's
like 48.
still alive. What? Donald Trump kids were big game hunters.
It was something happened that just made us forget about Cecil the Lion, and I just lost it.
Well, the
totally.
reason why the mainstream media doesn't cover this is because they're not for it. They're not supporting it. I mean, I am a Republican, but I am pro-choice, but I am also against funding Planned Parenthood with my tax dollars.
Are you saying the mainstream or state-run media, as I like to call it, are biased?
Yes.
They would tell you that they're not.
So, Jill, today's event, it starts at noon. Where is it again, and how can we get involved?
It's going to be at Federal Plaza at noon, and Bruce could help by calling his mainstream media friends to come out.
I have no friends in the mainstream media. They won't talk to me.
Bruce has friends, Jill?
It's actually true that MRC, Media Research Center, has researched 500 hours of reporting from the three mainstream media outlets, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and they only, in that time, devoted 1 minute and 13 seconds to this baby parts trafficking.
Do you know how
scandal.
they did it, Jill? You know how they did it, too?
I think I saw that one
But
minute.
here's how they do it. They look at, and I got this from Noah Rothman in Commentary Magazine. This is how they do it. They say, how are Republicans going to handle this politically? So they don't look at the story itself and how abhorrent it is and how horrible and macabre it is.
Well, it's illegal.
It's all the political, the Republicans are going to make hay out of this. Yeah, it's totally biased.
You know, as a matter of fact, the mainstream media is usually really into the prospect of shutting down the government, which looms potentially, despite what Leader McConnell said. But they've kind of gone silent over this particular government shutdown opportunity to make the Republicans look bad. And do you know why that is?
Why?
It's because this is all about Planned Parenthood, and they don't want to spotlight the atrocities that Planned Parenthood has been found on video to be committing.
Well, Jill Stanek, congratulations. I applaud you for your actions. They're going to have an unprecedented number of Illinois pro-life groups outside of Mark Kirk's office today, Federal Plaza, noon to 1 if you want to join them. Thank you so much, Jill, for joining us, and good luck with your protest this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
And Jill joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up, 2 men in Alabama go fishing and wait until you hear what they caught. Meow, meow. But first, here's your forecast.
And today it's going to be warm and humid with some sun, a PM shower or thunderstorms, high around 89, a thunderstorm in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid, low of 69 for that Bears-Scrubs game tonight. Tomorrow, periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorm or warm and humid, high of 85, low tomorrow night, 68. And now it's time for the traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Bruce. Hanover Park got a crash. Barrington Road at Irving Park. Eden's inbound delay started 2E. It's 22 minutes now either way between Lake Hook and Montrose. Outbound slow Montrose to 2E as well. Kennedy, 26 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 31. The Eisenhower, 42 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 37. Stevenson looking at about 42 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive and outbound 38. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Slow from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway has slow pockets. 25 to Beverly and Elmhurst Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. Veterans Memorial. Slow 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to Roosevelt. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Time now for the Lou Dobbs Market Preview, brought to you by the Mutual Fund Store.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Reports on services, weekly jobless claims, and the trade deficit, all influencing action on Wall Street today. Those stories next.
2 little tablets is all it takes to make your thin hair feel and look thicker and fuller. Guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically researched to promote existing hair growth for men and women. And now a 90-day supply of Viviscal is offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-970-7643. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. You'll love your hair growth results, guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective it's recommended by top doctors. Here's Dr. Grant Stevens, board-certified plastic surgeon.
I feel confident recommending Viviscal to women with hair loss, thinning hair, or even dry or brittle hair. It's 100% drug-free, and it's backed by years of clinical research.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls now gets a 90-day risk-free supply plus free shipping. Call now. 800-970-7643. 800-970-7643. That's 800-970-7643.
We'll see whether Wall Street investors are able to build on yesterday's more than 1% rally. Big gains in technology lifting the Nasdaq out of correction territory. Investors today assessing a number of economic reports, including the latest readings on monthly layoffs and weekly jobless claims. Investors also considering reports on the services sector and the U.S. trade deficit. Those reports, as well as readings on the European and Japanese economies, could influence trading in the debt and commodity markets as well. Oil coming off a nearly 2% rally, despite a big jump in weekly crude oil inventories. The Fed's positive Beige Book report on the economy driving October crude oil back above $46 a barrel. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
I'm Adam Bold, founder of the Mutual Fund Store and co-host of the Mutual Fund Show. So the markets have been a little rough lately. Has your advisor called you to talk about what to do when the markets are like this? That's one of the things we do best at the Mutual Fund Store. You know, anyone can be a good advisor when the market's going up. The question is, how do they deal with things when they're going down? Well, if your advisor isn't talking to you about what to do right now, maybe it's time to get a new advisor. At the Mutual Fund Store, you get the benefit of a national company, things like teams of research analysts and a Nobel Prize-winning economist on our advisory board. But you also get a local advisor right there in your hometown. If you don't have this level of service, I invite you to talk with one of my advisors today. Go to mutualfundstore.com. I can understand you're worried, and worried people sometimes make bad decisions. Come to the Mutual Fund Store today and meet with one of my advisors. Now is the time to figure out your plan. mutualfundstore.com for your free consultation.
Merlin 200,000-mile shops are offering car owners 40 hints for money-saving motoring.
Hint number 4.
Worn-out tires can cost you a lot more than new tires.
It's true. In the long run, badly worn tires put stress on suspension parts,
which can lead to real expensive repairs.
Worn tires have poor traction.
That's why so many families are riding on Merlin 200,000-mile warranty tires.
What's your family riding on?
Stop in at your local Merlin 200,000-mile shop for details and a free tire inspection today.
At Merlin, more life for you and your car.
If you've been making trails all summer, now's the time to get ready for fall. Follow the trail to your local Merlin shop for a free tire inspection. And right now, you can get up to a $70 rebate on a set of Ford General tires during the Making Trails promotion. Go to merlins.com for locations, coupons, and to make an appointment.
AM 560, The Answer.
Come on, take down your fishing pole and meet me at the fishing hole. I can't think of a better way to pass the time of day.
All right.
You know, I used to be on opposite of Andy Griffith.
Oh, you sure you were?
Barely today, 4:30 in the morning.
Bruce
Channel
Wolf
5.
in for Dan Proft. You know, a couple of guys in Alabama went fishing yesterday and enjoying the last few days of summer. They were on the Warrior River, which I don't know if you know this, but it's in south central Alabama. And I know that because David Stripling, our technical director, is from the great state of Alabama. But they were,
Forrest, run!
And they were fishing, and they saw something strange in the water there.
So we're out here on the Warrior River, and y'all are not going to believe what is swimming towards our boat.
A great white whale?
A kitten.
Oh.
A kitten, that's right. So they leaned down gently and pulled this cute little orange tabby cat. Must have been 8 weeks old, out of the water.
Oh, there's more, Jason. I just seen a kitten jump on the ground. Look, you hear it? I just saw it jump in the water. Oh, God, I bet somebody put them out.
Oh, listen to that.
I just seen it jump off that bank into the trees.
What is that noise? Oh, so they didn't have to reel them in. You know, they didn't catch the hook in their mouth. They just gently leaned down. But you have a cat, right?
Yeah, but we didn't fry it up.
I know, but no, they didn't either. But cats.
Oh, they didn't? Oh.
Hate water. Anybody who owns a cat knows that they cannot stand water, because we used to try and throw Fluffy, our cat, in the bathtub and give him a bath because we wanted to treat him like a dog.
Well,
when we were kids.
Because
and,
I thought you might be a serial killer.
Fluffy didn't like that none too much.
Torturing small animals.
So they got the second tabby on the boat.
They're twins. Are you kidding me? They're twins. Well, there's a first time for everything, isn't there? Yeah.
And really, nobody would have believed them if they hadn't.
And those two guys are twins too, right?
Yeah, no, they're friends. But no, they put their little fishing expedition up on YouTube, and it's gotten millions of hits. And so, of course, I love animals so much. I almost ran to O'Hare to fly to Alabama to adopt the two cats, because I'm going to become a cat lady once my kids go to college, because I love cats. And when I was a kid, I used to take in stray animals all the time. But the good news is, and I don't know if this is good news, but clearly those cats were dumped on the shore. But when they got back and docked their boat, they saw a family with two little girls who each wanted a kitten. So they gave the kittens to that family. Craziest fishing story I'd
throw them back.
Heard. Oh, stop it.
I'm Shepard Smith, and I'm a silly little catfish.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Want to buy a brownstone? You got to call Townstone. In fact, if you want to buy a condo, single-family home, or any type of residential property, you got to call me, Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial, at 312-896-2111. Remember, not only can Townstone streamline your purchase from start to finish, but we're also the place for all your refinancing needs. If your interest rate is not in the low 4% range, or you're looking to buy something, give me a call now. Just last month, a friend's mother needed to sell her house and quickly purchase another. I drove over to her house, answered her mortgage questions, and even helped her figure out exactly what repairs and updates needed to get done. Now that's great service. We do that every day at Townstone Financial, because no one values your business more than Townstone. Remember, I own the company, and I guarantee that you will not be disappointed with our great rates, low closing costs, and exceptional service. So call 312-896-2111 now. That's 312-896-2111, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Florida, licensee 6629, NMLS 136639, Equal Housing Lender.
I wish this bag under my eye would just go away. Do you say that when you wake up in the morning? Well, if that sounds like you, you're not alone. Bags and puffiness under the eyes are a problem for millions of American men and women until now.
So I just wear sunglasses, right?
Well, I want to introduce you, Bruce, to the new Genucell serum with plant stem cell technology from Chamonix. Susan wrote, I've been using Genucell for a couple of months. The puffiness around my eyes is gone. Even the crow's feet and the small lines have disappeared and haven't come back. I love the product. I use it under my eyes, around my cheekbones, and on my eyelids. But not only Susan uses it, I use it too, and I love it.
Do you really?
Yeah, is that
and
what
I don't
you
see
noticed
any bags under your eyes.
No, but what about any? Well, don't comment on the lines on my face. But Instant Effects, if you use it with the Instant Effects, you'll see results in the first 12 hours. Don't look at me. Or your money back, I guarantee it. So call now and save big on Genucell's.
I see a cute little dimple right now.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Call now and save big on Genucell's risk-free introductory offer. Bruce, call this number, 800-525-8323, 800.
You're saying I need this?
525-8323. Men should use it too. Do you use lotion on your face or any anti-aging creams?
I should.
You
probably
should. No,
do that.
you might want to get on that.
Don't I have young skin, considering I'm a
we'll be right
septuagenarian?
back. Call 800-525-8323. That's 800-525-8323.
The sounds of an accident. You or a loved one has been injured. Your mind is racing. What happened? Is everyone okay? What now?
I'm Dan Compton of Compton Law Group. We know that at a time like this, you want answers. More importantly, you want justice for what has taken place. If you or a loved one has been injured, please, before you sign something or talk to anyone, call Compton Law Group. This is our specialty, fighting for your rights, fighting for you, and making sure that justice is served. You can reach me at 847-742-6100. That's 847-742-6100. It's my job to make sure that you, your family, and your loved ones are protected and compensated properly. We handle nursing home accidents, car, truck, and motorcycle accidents, construction accidents, and medical malpractice.
When accidents happen, and they will happen, make sure you have Compton Law Group on your side. 847-742-6100 or online at ComptonLawGroup.net. When accidents happen, take the appropriate action with Compton Law Group.
Coming up next, it's a humanitarian crisis. Migrants are on the move in Europe. Daniel Hannan, a member of the European Parliament, will join us at 7:07.
And we'll be talking to Congressman Bob Dole. That's Dole with a D.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say hello once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce here are the stories we're watching. Police say a lie prompts a huge Illinois police response. We'll tell you where. A union arbitration override fails in the Illinois House, and a warm and humid day ahead. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. A U.S. Marine is dead in a helicopter crash in North Carolina. Fox News Radio's Tanya J. Powers details what happened live.
Dave, 9 others are recovering this morning, one in serious condition. The other 8 are expected to be okay. It happened during a training exercise around 9 o'clock last night at Camp Lejeune when the CH-53E helicopter came down hard. Officials say the name of that Marine will not be released for 24 hours. Some of those hurt were taken to Naval Hospital Camp Lejeune, while others were taken to medical facilities in Jacksonville and Greenville, Dave.
Tanya, 2 soldiers are in a hospital in Colorado after their helicopter crashed yesterday.
Sheriff's deputies say it's amazing the 4 men on board the Black Hawk helicopter survived after crashing hard in a wooded area about 30 miles north of Colorado Springs.
Brenda Stewart with our Fox affiliate KOA. More chaos in Hungary. That's at a train station where a man hugging his wife and baby wrestled with police as dozens of other migrants laid on the tracks protesting being taken to a nearby camp.
The Hungarian government is, if you like, playing by the rules of the European Union, which is that these people should go to camps and register at these camps. They don't want to. They're desperate to move over to richer countries in Western Europe.
Sky News' Mark Stone at the station in Bishka. Donald Trump's GOP credentials have been questioned.
When did you actually become a Republican?
That was at the Fox debate where the current frontrunner famously raised his hand, not ruling out a possible third-party run for president. Today, the head of the Republican National Committee will again press Trump to pledge not to run as an independent as the two meet. You know who doesn't think Trump's a conservative? Jeb Bush. That's the GOP candidate talking to reporters in Spanish. Trump's reply to Breitbart: Jeb's a nice man, but he should set the example by speaking English in the U.S. Rick Santorum, who won Iowa 4 years ago, is using the same game plan. The first of the 2016 candidates to visit all 99 counties, though Santorum's far back in the polls. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
74 degrees in Chicago. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. A county sheriff spokesman says a woman lied to authorities about seeing 2 suspicious men near where a police officer was fatally shot. A report prompting a large police response as the search continues for the killers of Officer Joseph Glenowitz. Lake County Sheriff's Sergeant Christopher Covelli says about 85 federal, state, and local law enforcement officials responded to the scene in Volo. Later, Covelli says after 11 police dogs, 3 air support units, and others assisted in the hours-long search, the woman told detectives she had lied. The woman, 30-year-old Kristen Kiefer of Vernon Hills, has been charged with disorderly conduct and falsifying a police report. Fox Lake gathered to remember the fallen officer gunned down in the line of duty yesterday. The mayor, Donnie Schmidt, spoke in front of a large audience of hundreds last night, gathered to remember the 30-year veteran lieutenant, Joseph Glenowitz.
Joe was a cop's cop, husband, father, mentor to the explorers. When you cut him, he bled Fox Lake blue. He loved this town, and this town loved him.
Father 4 was killed again Tuesday morning, responding to that report of a suspicious person. Glenowitz's wife, Melody, also gave a speech in front of the crowd, calling her husband the love of her life. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease, including 1 death, are being reported in Quincy, bringing the death toll to 8 after the outbreak at the Veterans Home. Health officials confirmed this week 7 other residents had died after contracting the severe pneumonia. Governor Rauner's veto of a union arbitration bill will stand. The Illinois House falling short yesterday of the votes needed to override his veto. A 10-year-old boy is dead after he was shot in a Southside home. The child hit in the stomach last night when a family member accidentally fired that gun. The boy later died. An Indiana man is facing multiple charges following that brutal attack and sexual assault of a woman in Willowbrook. Lawndale Madison of South Bend was arrested Tuesday in Indiana. The search began after that man forced his way into a woman's home Saturday afternoon before beating, stabbing, and sexually assaulting her. And the former principal of a Northern Illinois middle school has been charged with forgery and theft. Authorities say Jerome Wakich of Woodstock unlawfully withdrew thousands of dollars from various non-district bank accounts associated with the PTO and the Fox Valley Junior High School Conference. Wakich is free on $20,000 bond. He has a court date in McHenry County set next for September 15. Minnesota over the White Sox, 3-0. Reds over the Cubs, 7-4. NFL preseason tonight. No Jay Cutler as the Browns take on the Bears in the fourth and final preseason contest. The news, a service of Cabela's and Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days going on now. Spend $150, get $25 in Cabela's Bucks. Good towards your next purchase. See store for details and don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season going on now at Cabela's. Check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
On Wednesday, September 16th, the Republican presidential candidates are heading to Hollywood for their second debate, and AM 560 is rolling out the red carpet. Join us for big issues on the big screen, a debate watch party at the Hollywood Palm Cinema in Naperville. Watch the debate on the big screen. The best way to get tickets? Buy a ticket to Freedom Summit Chicago 2015 and get a free ticket to big issues on the big screen. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Protect the Harvest, healthinsurancementors.com, and by Sound Design.
Where do more than 2 million people go each day to do their best work? They go to Regis. Regis has beautifully designed tech-powered offices and co-working spaces with full admin support. Let Regis manage the details for you so you can focus on your business. Call Regis at 1-800-OFFICES to get up and running fast, without the hassle. Join the 2 million people who have found a better way to work. And right now, get a free office or meeting room for a day when you call 1-800-OFFICES. Regis, here to help you grow.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
In our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center, let's get the latest on the roads this morning. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In Glenwood, westbound Glenwood-Dyer Road, there's a crash at 394. 394 itself is fine. Edens Expressway, the delays in both directions are between Toohey and the junction. 22 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Inbound Kennedy. Now 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 18 from Montrose, 13 in the Express. Outbound 25 minutes to Montrose, 40 to the airport. Mount Eisenhower, 45 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 31 from Manheim. Outbound 37 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Orion, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow, 95th to 87th from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Very slow from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway stop and go, 31 to 59, and Elmhurst to the Des Plaines Oasis. Reagan Tollway slow, Fox River to the Aurora Toll, and Farnsworth to Eola. Veterans Memorial, scattered slowdowns from 75th and Roosevelt, Army Trail to Lake. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. Here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Humid today with clouds and sun with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, high 89, then a shower or thunderstorm in spots for the evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight, low 69. Clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around tomorrow, high 85. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
74 at O'Hare, 78 along the lakefront. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MJ Miller & Company Jewelers, experts in the value of your heirloom pieces at 123 West Main Street in downtown Barrington.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A showdown at the courthouse, despite a judge's order and the U.S. Supreme Court refusing to extend a temporary stay. Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis still would not issue marriage licenses today.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero, the love of my life for the last 26 and a half years.
Somehow there are comparisons made so often, which is interesting. Comparisons with Kanye and myself. I don't quite get it.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning and welcome back to the Dan and Amy Show. Sitting in for Dan Proft today and tomorrow. We are honored to have Bruce Wolf here. Thank you so much, Bruce, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And it's been a very busy week. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on the search for those 3 suspects in Fox Lake. School is back in session this morning at the high schools there, so we'll stay on top of that. Later on, Congressman Bob Dole will be here as well. And the head football coach for NIU will be here because as we are the home of the Huskies here on AM 560. The
Go
Answer.
Huskies.
But there's been a big problem brewing in Europe, and I want to set this up by saying my son's best friend is Serbian, and they spend 6 weeks of the summer in Belgrade, Serbia. And they came back and they said they're building a huge 100-mile-foot long fence between Serbia and Hungary to keep out all these migrants who are fleeing Turkey, Syria, North Africa.
Donald Trump made them pay for it, though.
Yeah, they
right?
pay. It's a very fancy fence. I mean, there's barbed wire. No one's getting through that. But it's a humanitarian crisis because the refugees are now flooding the Budapest train station, where 2 days ago they weren't letting anybody on the trains. Now they're setting up camp in Munich at the train station there. So to get the latest, let's go to Daniel Hannan. He joins us from Brussels, Belgium. He's a member of the European Parliament. Good morning, Daniel. How are you?
Good morning, Amy.
So what is going on and what are you going to do about it?
Well, we have an enormous movement of people, unprecedented since 1945, and it's a mixture of economic migration and refugee migration. And the European Union has for 20 years now operated an internal border-free zone, which the UK and Ireland sensibly stood apart from, but the other members are all part of, which means that once you get into any EU country, you can travel without being checked across the other 26 participants of the Schengen zone, as it's called, which means that, you get to Greece or Italy and you can go anywhere else in Europe. And, of course, that's what people are doing. And we've had some horrible tragedies with boats being overturned and people being drowned.
Yeah, and tell me, besides, the horrific, images that we see on TV of mass drownings, what's happening in the train stations? Because our friends told us that they saw people fist fighting on the trains and actually physically pushing people off so that they could get on to get to one of these EU countries.
Well, everybody is trying to get to Germany because Germany has more or less announced that it's going to relax its rules on granting asylum. A brisk trade has sprung up in selling fake Syrian ID because anyone who claims to be Syrian can, of course, legitimately claim to be a refugee. And if you're an Arabic speaker from the region or from North Africa, it's very hard to tell where you're from. So there is a great surge of people. And, of course, for everyone who comes in, more will attempt the journey. So I don't see any solution. We could, there's a lively argument now about should we share the refugees out and take 10,000 here and 15,000 there. But, of course, every time you do that, you'll have many more attempting the same journey.
You mentioned that this is part of a larger picture that's been going on since 1945, and I'm thinking that, demography is destiny, and that by 2045, how much of Europe is going to be a Muslim. And in particular, I'm looking at there's a theory that the welfare states that Bernie Sanders, our presidential candidate, lauds, the Nordic welfare states, tend to work because they're homogenous. And when you get an ethnic mix, it doesn't necessarily work. And I wondered if you could comment on, just the whole demographic picture.
Picture. I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, the U.S. has been very good at working with a good ethnic mix and at turning people into patriotic Americans wherever they're ancestors came from. It is possible to get it right, and it's possible to get it wrong. The best kind of immigration is the one where people consciously want to come to your country because they value its way of looking at the world and they feel proud to have beaten off the other applicants to that place. The worst kind of immigration is one where you can only get in by effectively lying about your circumstances, which from the start teaches you to be contemptuous of the state and its institutions. So there's ways of getting this right and wrong, but I tell you, Bernie Sanders is very out of date if he still thinks that the Scandinavian countries are socialist.
He does say that a lot.
They ran out of money quite badly in the early 90s, and all of them, except Sweden, now have right-of-centre government.
Yeah. So speaking of Scandinavian countries, once these migrants get to Germany, I heard some say, that we're being interviewed. They want to go to Finland. They want to go to Sweden. They want to go to Norway. Are they allowed to do so, or what are the rules?
Well, I mean, if you're, in theory, in the EU, if you are a refugee, you're supposed to claim asylum in the first safe country that you reach. A refugee is trying to get out of a particular country. He isn't trying to get into a particular country. But of course, it's complicated. People have family links and so on. The trouble is, it's very difficult to sort out who are the real refugees. I've just come back from Sicily. I was volunteering in a camp for underage migrants who are arriving in huge numbers in Sicily and southern Italy from North Africa. Mm-hmm. And, the boys I was meeting there were resourceful, bright kids. I don't blame them in the least for having made that journey. I hope I would be brave enough to do the same if I were in their position, but very few of them were refugees, at least as is recognized and defined under the law. I've seen refugee columns before, and one thing that refugee columns have in common is that they disproportionately are made up of women and children. I saw a Italian Coast Guard disembark 700 people. More than 80% of them were young men. Now, that's the visible sign of a economic migration. That isn't a refugee column.
Do you think that, by 2045, 2050, it's going to be Muslim-dominant Europe?
No, I wouldn't have thought so, not at the current rate of increase. But in a way, what matters much less than people's country of origin is their sense of values and identity. As I say, you've been very good at taking people from every continent and archipelago and making them want to adopt the free values that raised America above the run of nations. And it can happen. The Canadians have been pretty good at doing this. The Australians have been pretty good at doing it. It's a question of having the self-confidence in your own system, which, for heaven's sake, should be easy for us, right? What is a more wretched system of ideology in the world than the kind of caliphate espoused by ISIS? And what is a better system than Anglosphere liberty? It should be very easy for us to inspire people with a vision of how we organize our society, provided we have confidence in it ourselves.
That voice belongs to Daniel Hannan, member of European Parliament, joining us from Brussels, Belgium. You mentioned that most of these people, most of these migrants that are fleeing Syria, Turkey, North Africa, they're trying to get to Germany. And I was looking at some images from the Munich train station. I was actually there 2 months ago today, and the Germans they were not friendly to me, and I'm blonde. So I can't imagine that there's got to be protests going on, people against these refugees coming to their country.
There are, but of course a lot of Germans are also very traumatized by their own history, and it's become almost unsayable to be opposed to admitting refugees. Remember also that a very large chunk of the German population, some 17 million ethnic Germans, arrived in what is now Germany as refugees after 1945. So they have a certain kind of traumatic experience which leads them to be very reluctant to question this. Also, frankly, the German population Germany is in demographic collapse. Germany without immigration is going to dwindle into a small depopulated country. That isn't the situation in the United Kingdom. And I think that's part of the reason why they know that they've got a bit more space.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Daniel Hannan, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
He is a member of the European Parliament, and he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the Wiener fights back at Trump. Rawr. We'll explain, but first, here's your forecast.
And today it's going to be warm and humid with some sun. A PM shower or thunderstorm possibly. High 89 tonight. Even for the Bears game, a thunderstorm and spots, otherwise partly cloudy and humid, a low of 69. Tomorrow, periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorms. Warm and humid, high of 85, low tomorrow night, 68. Now a check of the traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Bruce. Northbound I-55 at Stop and Go Weber to Joliet Road with a crash in the left lane, and southbound the left lane is blocked. The fire truck there at the scene. And farther north, the Stevenson runs 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Eden, still 22 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy, 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 46. Eisenhower, 49 minutes from Thorndale to the post office, outbound it's 37. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. And delays on the northbound tri-state, 95th to 87th from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Very slow then from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Adams Tollway jammed 31 to 59 and heavy approaching the Des Plaines Oasis. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
It's Feldco's biggest sale. All windows, siding, and doors installed for free. That's right. All windows installed for free. All doors installed for free. All siding installed for free. Buy now and pay later with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 1 year. It's Feldco's biggest sale. Hurry, Feldco's free installation ends Monday. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
AM 560 The Answer wants you to know that we value your opinion and loyalty. That's why we're giving you the chance to win $5,000 just by answering a few simple questions about why you listen. Now, $5,000 could make one of your dreams come true. Take that vacation you've been dreaming about, pay off bills, throw a huge party, or put a down payment on a car. Just visit 560theanswer.com and click on the Dreams Come True banner for your chance to win.
Trust is the single most important factor in hiring a contractor. Dependable Construction and its founder, Joe Barron, built their business over 3 decades by being trustworthy. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing is Joe's specialty. Joe started as a laborer and progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Joe and Dependable Construction have grown to become a full-service, Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any other type of remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Barron. Call Joe Barron at Dependable Construction, an AM 560 Feed the Children business benefactor. Mention AM 560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091. Or visit tuckpointchicago.net. 773-244-1091.
My name is Dr. Howard. I've recommended Balance of Nature for over 15 years because of the excellent results I see in my patients. Balance of Nature doesn't make any claims of treating or curing any particular disease, but I think the results speak for themselves.
I will tell you one thing, and he's sick all winter. He wasn't sick at all this winter, not one time.
I've taken vitamins my whole life, and this is really the only thing that I've ever really felt like that did anything.
Well, I kept coming down with the flu, and she said double them, triple them, and that's what I did since then, and I haven't had the flu. So I know it worked.
When you can give your body a full variety of 31 different fruits and vegetables in their 100% natural, whole food form, you receive the unmatched balance of nutrition. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy Jacobson here, sitting in with Bruce Wolf. We've gotten a lot of text messages. You have a lot of fans out there, Bruce.
Aww.
Bruce, how we love hearing your voice on the radio again. Welcome back. And here's another one from the 708 area code. Bruce Wolf, great to hear you this morning. So
terrific.
Keep them coming. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. All right, Anthony Weiner fights back. He fires back at Donald Trump, actually, because Trump, I don't know if you remember this, it was Friday night. It was like a raucous crowd. Everybody was drunk. He was at an event. Donald Trump was at an event outside of Boston. And it was kind of a stand-up comedy routine.
So Uma is getting classified secrets. She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he is. He is. So she's married. Now, these are confidential documents. She's married to this guy and guess what happens to Anthony Weiner? A month ago, I see he went to work for a public relations firm. Do you believe it? Now, if you think that Uma isn't telling Anthony, who she's probably desperately in love with, in all fairness to Anthony, because why else would she marry this guy? Can you believe it? Can't see straight. But if you would, look, think of it.
Everything's a roast to Trump.
Oh,
I love that the debate's a roast.
Yeah.
It's all a roast
and
with him.
He kept talking about the sexing, the bing, 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 bing.
So it's coming through Uma. She's got a lot of stuff, a lot of information. Who knows? So she's married to a bad guy. I know Anthony Weiner for a long time. I knew before they caught him with the bing, 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 right? And he was a bad guy then. It turned out that he was a really bad guy.
I can't help but laugh. So Anthony Weiner fought back and said clearly, Donald Trump's comments are absurd and frankly, downright insulting.
It's absurd and frankly insulting not only to my wife, who when she worked at the State Department had a pretty high security clearance, a higher clearance than even I think some of the candidates running for president. But it also reflects very poorly on what apparently Mr. Trump thinks about all government employees who have high security clearances, that they're talking about things. Not only didn't she do that, but even further, she's someone who worked in government for 20 years, and she's got a reputation that is completely stellar. And anyone in Washington and anyone in New York who's ever worked with her knows that.
No, she may be willing to go to jail for Hillary Clinton for all
I know.
Did you see the latest on Hillary, the emails that came out? Apparently she got $16 million from a for-profit university, laureates or something, whatever it's called, and she did them a favor. So that's coming out of the emails.
What was the
now.
favor?
Who knows? See, I always thought the whole foundation was like the Clintons were like Max Bialystock and the producers. They took in all the money from everybody, but they didn't give anything back. I mean, they're flim-flam man and woman.
Well, they
Hillary.
think they're above the law. And Uma, she's going to be going to Washington State Court because they subpoenaed her for some of the emails. And it's still Anthony Weiner, though, is defending her. There's nothing to see here.
My wife served our government admirably, made enormous sacrifices to do so, has the responsibility that she had at the State Department as Deputy Chief of Staff because of that record, and I'm very proud of her, and I think that anyone who's ever worked with her would say that the people of this country have been very well served by having her and Secretary Clinton representing their interests.
Well, do you know why they're still together? Uma and Anthony Weiner, she never sees him. Since Hillary Clinton was the most traveled Secretary of State in history, Uma Abedin has been with her for 20 years. So she was never home. And that's why they're still married.
He sounded credible, but I think when you look at him when he made this speech, that his fly was probably open. So,
Misdemeanor Wiener.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. They really are just like your original ones. What you probably don't know is that not all implants are the same quality, and there are a lot of unqualified people doing implants.
This is Brian DeWolf. I have 2 implants from Fox River Periodontics. I had one, I was happy with it, so I had another one done, and I love them. The idea of dentures didn't appeal to me at all. I didn't want that appliance in my mouth. These implants are wonderful. They're just like your real teeth, and they're probably even better because there's no nerve attached to them, so there's no pain, and they last forever. Dr. Neruzzi is great, and his staff is wonderful, and I trust him completely. If you're looking for dental implants, or considering dental implants for a missing tooth or for a whole mouthful, talk to Dr. Neruzzi. You'll be happy you did, and Fox River Periodontics.
Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
So often on this show, we talk about the important issues that affect your world, things like the economy, education, foreign policy. And on this show, because there's always so much going on, we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. It's one of the reasons I'm involved with a new website along with the Illinois Policy Institute called Upstream Ideas. It's online at upstream-ideas.com. At Upstream Ideas, you'll find information that will inform some of the policy discussions that we're having here on this show and elsewhere. At Upstream Ideas, we want to broaden the parameters of debate and move beyond the same old partisan assumptions. We want to challenge accepted orthodoxies, and we debunk some of the faulty premises that inform the rules on which our free society is based. In other words, we're pushing against the current and thinking upstream. We'll ask, why are conditions the way they are, and how can those conditions be improved? So go online now to upstream-ideas.com. Sign up. That's upstream-ideas.com. Today we'll have an interview I did with Vicente Serrano, former Telemundo anchor, about immigration. It was a very spirited discussion. With each visit to Upstream Ideas, you'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized.
Turbo engines rule the road these days. Sure, they're cool, but they run hot. Take the piston skirt. It can reach over 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Burning your cherry pie is one thing, but your cherry red coupe? That's why Pennzoil synthetic motor oils are designed to protect your engine, even in extreme temperatures. So fire up your turbo and protect it at the same time.
Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics at your local Walmart.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders here. Did you hear that noise? I think I heard thunder. There must be a storm coming. Well, hang on now, I heard it again. Holy cow, is that your stomach? You must be starving. It sounds like there are horses fighting inside your torso. You need to get to a KFC for one of my $5 fill-ups. It has enough delicious food to bring peace and quiet to that noisy belly of yours. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Drum thigh side cookie medium drink. Pricing and participation may vary. Tax extra.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, he is a congressman for the 10th Congressional District in Fox Lake, where the shooting happened, where the police officer was gunned down. We'll talk to Congressman Bob Dole and also get his reaction to President Obama getting what he wants. A 34th senator has vowed her support for the Iran deal. We'll explain. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. 73 degrees. Authorities here in this state say the search continues for 3 suspected in the fatal shooting of a Fox Lake police officer.
Law enforcement is here to support them. We're here to keep the community safe. We're here to stay. And we're going to go hand in hand with the residents of Fox Lake to ensure their security during this time.
Detective Chris Cavelli this morning, Lake County Major Crimes Task Force Commander Chief George Valenko says the Illinois State Police are also adding input from local residents.
We've been following up on leads and still continue following up on leads. We have a lot of social media leads coming in. The community's been fantastic in phoning in tips and leads.
Melody Glinowitz, the wife of former Fox Lake Police Lieutenant Joe Glinowitz, spoke last night at a vigil honoring her husband. A U.S. Marine is dead, 7 others hurt following an incident during a training exercise last night at Camp Lejeune. Base officials in North Carolina say this morning the CH-53 helicopter made what they call a hard landing. Kentucky clerk defying the U.S. Supreme Court by refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples is due in court later today. Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis has repeatedly cited her religious beliefs. Vice President Joe Biden will try and convince Jewish leaders in South Florida today about the merits of President Obama's nuclear deal with Iran. On Wednesday, he spoke about the importance of higher education at Miami-Dade College.
It's amazing how good this school is. Look at all the press you've attracted. Their interest in community colleges impressed me greatly, and I hope that's what they're going to write about.
But with every appearance Biden makes, speculation grows he may soon announce he'll make a run for the presidency. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease, including 1 death reported in Quincy, bringing the death toll at the Illinois Veterans Home there to 8. Governor Rauner's veto of a union arbitration bill will stand this morning. It's a win for the governor as the Illinois House fell short of yesterday's votes needed to override his veto. An Indiana man faces multiple charges following the brutal attack and sexual assault of a woman in the suburb of Willowbrook. Lawndale Madison of South Bend was arrested Tuesday and questioned in Indiana. And millennials, you need to rejoice this morning. Some of your old Nickelodeon television favorites could be coming back. The Viacom-owned channel said to be looking at its old library and bringing back old shows with new ideas. Nickelodeon's president of content tells Variety that the kid-driven network may toy with classics like Rugrats and Hey Arnold. Minnesota over the White Sox 3-0. Reds over the Cubs 7-4. NFL preseason tonight. It wraps up as the Bears take on Cleveland. The news service of Cabela's and Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days going on now. Spend $150, get $25 in Cabela's bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season going on now at Cabela's. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Republican Party is attempting to take Trump off of state ballots.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Hey, the party elites don't get to decide who gets to run for president and who doesn't. The voters decide. You know what? They'll never get it. My family before party. My money before party. My country before party. And damn it, you better believe it's my freedom before any party.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cornerstone National Bank believes trust, service, and relationship is the foundation of a business banking partnership. Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company, where you belong. Visit cornerstonenb.com. Member FDIC.
Are you ready to take your diabetes management to the next level? Put the Contour Next meter to the test and challenge your meter. The Contour Next meter makes testing easy and highly accurate with close to lab level results. And J.D. Power ranked Bayer's portfolio of meters highest in customer satisfaction with blood glucose meters. So take the challenge. Go to ContourNextChallenge.com, get a free meter, and enter to win free test strips. Find Contour Next at your local Walgreens.
How do you stay connected to your business when your work has you traveling from Miami on Monday to Tacoma on Tuesday? You call Regis at 1-800-OFFICES. Regis offers drop-in business lounges, meeting rooms, and office space in more than 3,000 locations worldwide, allowing you to work from anywhere at any time, all on your terms. Call Regis today at 1-800-OFFICES and get a free office or meeting room for a day. Regis, here to help you grow.
7:36 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the latest on the morning commute. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Edens Expressway inbound 25 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose outbound 26. The Kennedy 38 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 46 minutes. The inbound Eisenhower outrunning 55 minutes. Thorndale to downtown outbound it's 41. Northbound I-55 has delays. Weber to Joliet Road with a crash in the left lane. And the Stevenson is 45 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 38. The Ryan 20 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Slow Southwest Highway to 47th and Roosevelt to Grand Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial jammed. I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt. Army Trail to 290. Traffic service of City, Chicago, and Cook County. Suspicious activity can be found anywhere. Help keep our community safe. Call 855-RPRT-2S4. If you see something, say something. From the Chicago Office of Emergency Management and Communications and the Cook County Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. Warm and humid in Kevin Snyder's forecast today. An afternoon shower or thunderstorm, high of 89. Thunderstorm in spots this evening as well. Very humid, low 69. 74 at O'Hare, 69 in Aurora. Water temp of 70. And your next news update is at 8 with Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Continuing next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Heroes Talk Radio. Learn the secrets to planning a tax-free retirement income by listening to Heroes Talk Radio Saturday afternoons at 5.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
He's told with a D, not an E. He's told with a D, not an E.
Oh, I see. Here's me. I start singing it. Good morning. Welcome back to AM 560, The Answer. Amy Jacobson here with Bruce Wolf, who's filling in for...
No E at the end of Wolf.
No. Filling in for Dan Proft. And yesterday, the big news that Republicans went, was... It seems that the nuclear deal with Iran is unstoppable. Yesterday, President Obama convinced his 34th senator, Senator Barbara Mikulski, from a Democrat from Maryland, announced that she would support the Iran deal and the agreement. But one congressman who has been against it since the get-go is Representative Bob Dole from the 10th Congressional District. Good morning, Mr. Dole. How are you?
Amy, how are you doing? It's good to be with you.
So where were you when you heard the news that this might be an unstoppable deal to try and stop Obama?
Well, actually, I was actually out in Fox Lake, out there with the mayor and some of the others as we were putting together this vigil for Joe Glinowitz, lieutenant that was shot. But in terms of the Iran deal, it's been something that we knew was building, and building in the sense that they were just, the White House was focusing on trying to get just 34 senators. And the amazing thing about this, Amy, is this is an agreement that has the ability and likely will potentially shift the balance of power throughout the globe. This is about something that will affect generations to come, a nuclear-armed Iran, which, again, if we look at the base of any agreement, right, the goal of this administration and prior administrations was always we want to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. As Bob Menendez, the Democrat from New Jersey, has come out to say, this agreement all but paves the way for them to get one. And so I believe this will set off an arms race within the Middle East. I think the chances of conflict increase, not decrease. This makes the United States, first and foremost, less safe under this agreement, which is why I think this is a bad agreement. We're going to put $150 billion of sanctions relief into the greatest state sponsor of terror in the world, which, by the way, is not up for debate. The administration will tell you that Iran is the greatest state sponsor of terror in the world.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you as a House member that you could do? I mean, they have 35 Democratic senators locked in. Their aim is to get 41. Are your hands tied?
Well, listen, I don't know that our hands are tied. I do believe that, what is interesting is that on a deal this big, that the administration's goal is not to win the vote, right? That they're not looking to win this upcoming vote of disapproval, which, again, really for most, this is a treaty. And a treaty, as you know, would require two-thirds approval from the Senate. They're looking to just get 34 U.S. senators. They're not even focused on the House. They're just looking at 34 U.S. senators when the majority of the American public and the people that are out there look at this and realize that this is a bad agreement that makes the United States less safe. So what we have an opportunity to do going forward, I think we've got an opportunity to try to ratchet up sanctions. I think it will be very difficult to do with the administration and the stance that they're at. But we have basically 16 months until we have a new administration. And so I do think that, again, this is problematic. We still have to try to press forward and make our case as to why this is not a good deal for the American people, first and foremost. And there is bipartisan opposition to this. So this is not partisan. And one of the things that I came out early on and said, look, I went to my former opponent and I said, look, come out and join me. And it was a month after the deal was announced, and still they hadn't said anything. Come out and join me. Let's make sure that the entire 10th district knows that this is not partisan. This is about the safety and security of the United States. This is not a good deal, and it needs to be stood up against.
You mentioned that this is really a treaty, but it's a de facto treaty. There's no question about it, which, according to, it's been a long time since I took, civics or constitutional law or whatever in like an 8th grade, and that's supposed to take 2/3 of the Senate, not 1/3 of the Senate. But
exactly.
It's because Congress and the Senate have ceded so much authority to the president. And this is why there's so much frustration among Republicans, including me, and why a guy like Trump has gained traction. Because it's Mitch McConnell and it's John Boehner saying, wait until next year, like we're Cub fans. Okay, and that's the problem.
A couple things I will say, Bruce, and there's no question the frustration level out there is palpable, and people are frustrated just in general. And so what we do see is whether it be from the regulatory bodies, the regulators are trying to regulate that which they can't legislate. The House has been standing up to them, although you don't hear about it nearly as much because the bully pulpit is not ours. But to say that the Republicans are laying down is absolutely not the case. Many of the things that people are talking about have been brought up into court, bringing in that third branch of government saying this is an overreach, and we want to make sure that the executive branch isn't overreaching. So we are going to see some of that roll back. So there are things that are being done right now because I recognize people are saying, wait a second, nobody gets it. Washington's not working. You guys don't understand, which is why I think you're seeing so much support, if you will, or at least enthusiasm for some of those like Ben Carson or Carly Fiorina or some of the folks that have never held office before.
Sure. And let me ask you this. The talk about what Congress could or could not do aside, former ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton, says it really doesn't matter what Congress does because he doesn't believe the sanctions were working. I mean, they were crippling the economy of Iran, but the nuclear program went apace. He thinks it's really going to wind up with Israel having to bomb Iran, and they may not be able to get to those underground facilities. What's in Fodro, I guess, but they could bomb even that enough so that the scientists get smoked out of there somehow. Do you agree or concur with former Ambassador Bolton that it's really going to be up to Israel to do the dirty work?
Well, I was just with former Ambassador Bolton just this week. We had an opportunity to talk about the situation, and I do believe that sanctions have been in place for a long time. We've had them in place early, but the crippling sanctions didn't come in until 2012. We saw what they were able to do in terms of bringing Iran to the table. So we know that that sanctions can work. But again, to his point, the intelligence community out there, we did not even know about the secret facilities that Iran had put in place until, in essence, a disenfranchised member of the Iranian regime, in essence, defected and let us know about where this secret facility was being deployed. And so who knows whether there are other secret facilities? We anticipate that there are. This agreement, as you look at it, allows the research and development to continue. So when the centrifuges, for instance, in Natanz, they go from Hall A to Hall B in this agreement. Well, that doesn't make me feel good. Anywhere, anytime inspections, we don't have those either. I do think what is important as you look at this, and I recently got back from a trip from Israel. The interesting thing is that the Israelis agree across the board, regardless of political party, that Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister's assessment of what this deal is in Iran, they all agree with. And so, therefore, it was so much agreement, it wasn't even an issue in their most recent election. What that means to me is that the Israelis will do whatever they believe necessary to protect themselves. The question that we have to ask ourselves, unfortunately, abdicating an enormous responsibility there, is are we going to make sure that they have that qualitative and quantitative military edge? Will we resupply them if need be? And I do believe that the strength of that relationship between the United States and Israel rests in the United States Congress. I do believe that they know, the Israeli people know, that the Congress certainly recognizes that they are our one true ally, that we will be there with them. But I do not anticipate that the U.S. will try to put handcuffs on Israel. The administration may try to do so, but Israel has made it very clear that they will do whatever is necessary for that sovereign nation to be able to protect its citizens.
Congressman Bob Dole joining us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. You represent the 10th Congressional District, and Fox Lake is in your district. And I know you've been an integral part in helping the family and planning two of the vigils that were held last night. That were held last night. Were you able to meet with Officer Glenovich's wife?
I was. And let me just say that our heart goes out and really breaks for the family. Joe Glenowich was one of these larger-than-life guys. He was model citizen. He was the hero that we hold our men in blue up to. He was engaged in the community in so many different ways. And so literally, you would go to an event, and Joe would be out there with his Explorer troop directing traffic. Right, he'd be part of the community, part of the event, and then he'd have his young people in terms of training that next group of leaders. This is a guy that literally walked the walk, and so that's why this community, this tight-knit community up in Fox Lake, that many of you all know, right there on the chain, is a one big family, and so people are reeling.
Had you ever met him?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
No question. You couldn't go up to an event
He was
and
like
not
the mascot.
see Joe. Yeah, he was one of these guys that, again, was a mentor for the police force. He was a leader for the Explorer Troop. So, again, roping in the youth in terms of trying to make sure, giving them a positive influence. And literally one of these great figures for the community. This is one big family. Last night at the vigil, there was one vigil last night at 6 o'clock down at Lakefront Park. I mean, thousands of people showed up that were just in awe. I mean, the community came together. I was out at the police station over at Village Hall most of yesterday. People were coming in with bags of groceries. There was water, Gatorade. The community just wanted to do something because this is not the type of thing that happens in Fox Lake. This is a guy that was, again, the model of what you want to have in your first responder. And he was about to retire. I mean, he was 30 days or less away from retirement, which makes it even that much more painful for so many people. To lose such an outstanding officer really in the prime of his life as he was about to retire and spend more time with his wife and 4 sons.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being there for them. And certainly our condolences go out to that officer and his family. And thank you, Congressman Dold, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next, how the Ashley Madison hack has helped business, believe it or not. We'll explain. But first, Bruce Wolf is here to give us the forecast. And do it in your Ron Burgundy voice, please.
Can I do it in my Cliff voice?
Sure. You know what? Why don't you do that?
Right. Today, it's going to be warm and humid with some sun. PM shower. Thunderstorms around a high of 89. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy and humid, a low at 69. Tomorrow, periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorm around. Warm and humid, a high of 85. Low tomorrow, night 68 degrees. And now it's time for a check of traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Cliffy. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Big delays on northbound I-55 from 126 now to Joliet Road. A crash has 2 left lanes blocked, and farther north of Stevenson's getting heavier too. It's 51 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's 38. The Aiden's 26 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 30. The Kennedy, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, but outbound it's 50 minutes. The Eisenhower, 57 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 43. The tollway is very slow on the Adams Tollway eastbound 31 to 59 and Elmhurst Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. Reagan Tollway jammed, Randall to Eola, and slow Roosevelt to the Tri-State Veterans Memorial. Stop and go Boughton to the Reagan Tollway, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290, and 53 has southbound delays, Rand to Kirchhoff. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com, Traffic Center.
Painting is personal. That's why I chose CertaPro to do some painting for us. And it's not too late to get on their CertaPro painting schedule. Get your home looking picture perfect for fall football, my favorite time of year. And it's a great time to get it done is when you're out of town for the weekend, maybe.
Are you painting your walls in Northern Illinois colors?
Actually, truth be told, my son's bedroom was painted in Iowa Hawkeye colors, but he's done with the Hawkeyes and he likes Illinois now. Right. So CertaPro Painters came in. His name was Angel. He came in and painted his room orange and blue for the Illini. So, but they were great. Angel came in. He moved the furniture. He painted those, put those horrific colors on the wall, cleaned up and moved everything back where it was. So quiet he wouldn't have waked a baby. CertaPro, it's a great company because they're America's biggest painting company, yet they're your neighborhood painter. It's so simple. Just call CertaPro, 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA, or go online to CertaPro.com. You'll talk to Patty. She'll set up an appointment. Otis comes over. He takes the measurements, and then the painting begins. It's really a great, reputable, and safe company. I've chosen CertaPro, and you should too. CertaPro Painting. Ooh, it is personal.
Are you or someone you know facing foreclosure, losing the family home? You'd be not alone. See, people, we are in the aftermath of what is being revealed to have been the greatest financial crime spree in history, perpetrated by the Wall Street investment banks smuggling and packaging mortgages, and continuing this day by the mortgage servicers that service the mortgages. I'm Lou Bridges. I have a law firm I put together. We defend foreclosure actions. We help people do strategic defaults, short sales, and modifications that include restructuring. Call us for a free consultation. We'll tell you what to look for in hiring a foreclosure defense attorney. We'll tell you some of your options. We'll give you a free consultation. But whatever you do, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
Call 224-513-1231 or visit FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. That's 224-513-1231 or FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. Get real answers from a real foreclosure defense law firm.
This is Michelle DeVal from DeVal Jewelers. I'm thrilled to tell you about our great selection and prices on stackables, bracelets, mother's rings, and of course our amazing choice of diamond and gold jewelry. Go ahead, Dennis. You're anxious to say something.
It's also gratifying when listeners come in and remember Reno, Donna, and of course yours truly from our Belmont Central store in the old neighborhood. And don't let me forget to mention our GIA and EGL diamonds at amazing internet prices.
Whether you're a previous customer or a new one, we have been Chicagoland's family jeweler for over 100 years. We take pride in having the perfect jewelry selection for every budget and taste preference.
And no matter where you live in Chicagoland, we are easy to get to and worth the drive. DeVal Jewelers is just south of the Kennedy on Harlem in Harwood Heights. Call us at 708-867-8200.
That's 708-867-8200, and our website is DAVALLE.com.
DeVal Jewelers, more bling
and less sting.
For collectors of coins and currency, investors, or people who want to check out some fantastic history, make plans to attend the 56th Annual Coin and Currency Show presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at the Tinley Park Convention Center, Thursday through Saturday, September 10th through 12th. Admission and parking is free. Just bring your photo ID. This is one of the largest shows in the country, with hundreds of dealers and displays valued at millions of dollars. If you're a serious collector, this is a show you can't miss. If you're an investor or just want to find out more about coins and currency, this show is a can't miss. Bring the friends and family and look at history right in front of you. Don't miss special events for kids on Saturday, seminars and events all weekend long. The Illinois Numismatic Association presents the 56th Annual Coin and Currency Show, Thursday through Saturday, September 10th through 12th at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Thursday and Friday, view items for a rare coin auction that starts Friday at 4 p.m. Get more information at ilnaclub.info.
Thank you to all of our listeners who've purchased thousands of MyPillows over the last 18 months and are enjoying your best sleep ever. But that still leaves thousands of you who haven't taken advantage of the buy one, get one free offer. What are you waiting for? It's so important to get a great night's sleep, especially last night for me. I was so grateful that I had my MyPillow. Amy, I was so
snuggle?
grateful.
Do you spoon your MyPillow?
Well, I have a couple of them, so one I just lean on, and the other one I spoon with. But here's the thing: I needed to maximize whatever sleep I was going to get last night because it was going to be a short night for me. And then my daughter calls up at 1:15 in the morning from Volo.
Stick to the script, Bruce.
There's choppers overhead. Okay, so don't wait any longer. MyPillow helps with snoring, headaches, neck pain, insomnia, allergies, and more. Plus, MyPillow is washable, keeps its shape to give you support where you need it most. That's why it was named the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation for MyPillow, not the pillow or a pillow, MyPillow. Buy one, get one free offer. Visit mypillow.com or call 800-489-0201. Please use the promo code Amy. Do it now, 800-489-0201 or online at mypillow.com. Promo code Amy, 800-489-0201.
Get to the chopper!
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lex, CEO of Balance of Nature. At Balance of Nature, we believe in real communication. Whether you call into the office or hear a success story on the radio, you can be sure it's real, unsolicited, and unscripted conversation.
I have a very mild version of MS. I couldn't afford the medication from the doctor's office, and I thought, let's try to fight this a little different way. Since I've been on it, I've only had one episode.
So as soon as I got it, I took some. I normally take it in the morning, so just with that period of time, I'm definitely seeing improvement again. Really amazing. So I'm probably going to get my daughter on it.
When you can give your body a full variety of 31 different fruits and vegetables in their 100% natural, whole food form, you receive the unmatched balance of nutrition. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
What's the best way to bring people together?
T-shirts!
T-shirts. Custom T-shirts that you design online with custom ink. The fun, easy way to make shirts you'll love for your group or occasion. Custom Ink has created over 50 million shirts for families, teams, reunions, church groups, cheerleaders, companies big and small. So go online and see how easy it is to design your own shirts with Custom Ink's online design lab. Our website has tons of fonts and amazing artwork. And our team of professional inkers will make sure your shirts turn out perfectly. Order one shirt or thousands. On-time delivery is guaranteed, and we'll even ship your order absolutely free.
Start designing your custom ink t-shirts today and see why 99% of our customers say they would order from us again. Visit customink.com.
It's time for the second round of the Republican debate, and we want you to experience it with us in style. On September 16th, AM 560 The Answer will host Big Issues on the Big Screen.
Watch it all unfold live at the Hollywood Palms Theater in Naperville. Receive a free ticket by purchasing your full value ticket to Freedom Summit 2015 featuring Sean Hannity. Visit 560theanswer.com. Win tickets to Big Issues on the Big Screen right now by being the fifth caller to 312-642-5600.
Coming up next on Chicago's Morning Answer, new information about the search for 3 suspects in Fox Lake. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say hello once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, Fox Lake holds a vigil to remember their fallen officer. A union arbitration override vote fails in the Illinois House. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. What does Jeb Bush think of his latest dust-up with Donald Trump?
I laughed. I mean, this is a joke.
This after Trump took issue with Bush speaking Spanish as the Republican presidential rivals keep sparring. Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
The GOP frontrunner says Bush should speak English, not Spanish, at campaign events. The comment came after the former Florida governor talked about Trump in Spanish to supporters recently. Bush told ABC's Good Morning America Trump should support diversity.
Are we going to close all the foreign language classes? Why would he have a contract with Univision for his beauty pageant?
Meanwhile, Trump will sit down with the head of the Republican National Committee today to discuss whether he'll pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee and vow not to launch a third-party run. Dave.
Rachel, more migrant drama today in Hungary as the trains they want to take them to Germany don't go there. Fox News Radio's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Dave, one train full of refugees and other migrants pulling out of Budapest, only to stop a short time later, close to a refugee camp. And that leading to unrest among people who want to register as refugees in a richer country like Germany. Some people throwing themselves on the tracks in protest. European leaders can't agree on what should be done. Dave.
7 U.S. Marine is dead, killed when a helicopter made a hard landing last night at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. 9 others were hurt, 1 seriously. The House committee probing the deadly attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, will today privately question Cheryl Mills, who was Secretary of State Clinton's chief of staff. But the man who set up Clinton's infamous private email server will not talk to lawmakers.
His name is Brian Pagliano, and his lawyer has written to the Benghazi Select Committee asking for his client to be excused. Now, if the committee says Pagliano still has to show, then he does plan to plead the Fifth.
Fox's Peter Ducey. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
.74 degrees, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Lake County Sheriff's officials say a woman lied to authorities about seeing 2 suspicious men near where a police officer was fatally shot this week. The report prompted a huge police response. 30-year-old Kristen Kiefer of Vernon Hills has been charged with disorderly conduct and falsifying a police report. Sheriff's Lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz was shot and killed Tuesday in Fox Lake, and the search for his killers continues.
Law enforcement is here to support them. We're here to keep the community safe. We're here to stay, and we're going to go hand in hand with the residents of Fox Lake to ensure their security during this time.
Detective Chris Covelli is with the Lake County Sheriff's Office. Lake County Major Crimes Task Force Commander George Falinko says the Illinois State Police are also taking input from nearby residents.
We've been following up on leads and still continue following up on leads. We have a lot of social media leads coming in. The community's been fantastic in phoning in tips and leads.
And there were 2 memorials last night to the Fox Lake Police Lieutenant Joe Glinowitz, including one led by his wife. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease, including 1 death, are being reported in Quincy. The health department now says there are 8 deaths in that outbreak tied to a veterans home. Governor Rauner's veto of a union arbitration bill will stand. The Illinois House fell short yesterday of the votes needed to override that bill. That bill needed 71 votes to become law. The House voted 68 to 34 to override Rauner's veto, failing. The agency that reviews police misconduct is recommending suspensions for 3 Chicago officers for their treatment of a woman during a prostitution raid at a Westtown tanning salon. Minnesota over the White Sox yesterday, 3-0, while the Reds beat the Cubs 7-4. NFL preseason football, the Browns and Bears tonight. The news, a service of Cabela's and Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days going on now. Spend $150 and get $25 in Cabela's Bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season going on now at Cabela's. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network this morning, here's Gary Baumgarten.
From the Fox Business Network, U.S. futures up on the heels of yesterday's positive reversal in markets and an easing of tensions in Asia as the volatile China markets are dark for a holiday. The attention switches to Europe, where markets were also in the green in advance of the European Central Bank meeting on monetary policy. The bank just announcing it's leaving interest rates unchanged, and that's what investors were hoping to hear. Retail sales in the zone are up. Disappointing news from Lands' End, reporting a 10% decline in net revenue from the second quarter last year. A big order for airplanes from overseas. UK airliner Jet2Com ordering 27 next-generation 737-800s from Boeing to be delivered over the next 2 years. That's a face value order of $2.6 billion, but the actual price is expected to be discounted. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Gary Baumgarten.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The FICO score is not really even a good indication that you pay your debts back.
Dave Ramsey.
What it's an indication of is, do you love debt? And are you planning on staying in debt continually, forever? If you're running around trying to build your FICO score and you call that winning with money, you're stupid. Was I unclear? I hope not. Because you're not winning with money. That's the point.
It's the Dave Ramsey Show, tonight at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
What do Fortune 500 companies do when they need to find new workspace? They call Regis at 1-800-OFFICES. With Regis, you can easily expand today and get your people up and running tomorrow. With fully furnished, tech-powered co-working spaces, offices, and admin support, Regis manages the details so you can focus on your business. Short-term, long-term, all on your terms. Regis makes it easy and affordable. Call Regis now at 1-800-OFFICES and get a free office or meeting room for a day. Regis, here to help you grow.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
8:07 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has really jammed up since our last report. Delays are pretty heavy now from Harlem to the Hubbard Tunnel. It's an hour and 2 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. 42 minutes from Montrose, 25 in the express lanes, outbound 38 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 26 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound it's 30. The Eisenhower, 53 minutes Thorndale to downtown, 37 from Manheim, outbound 43 to Thorndale. Crash at Laramie in the left lane. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41. Still slow on northbound 55 from 126 to Joliet Road with crash. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow, Southwest Highway to Ogden and Roosevelt to Grand Avenue. Southbound it's heavy, 120 to 137. Adams Tollway stop and go 31 to 59 and approaching the Des Plaines Oasis. Reagan Tollway stop and go Randall to Eola and approaching the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial slip out into the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. Let's get the update on your forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Humid today with clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around for the afternoon and in spots in the evening. High 89. Later tonight, partly cloudy and humid, low 69. Clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around tomorrow. Another humid day with a high 85. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
74 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Art House Gallery. Call 800-926-0700 or go online at arthousegallerychicago.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
A showdown at the courthouse. Despite a judge's order and the U.S. Supreme Court refusing to extend a temporary stay, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis still would not issue marriage licenses today.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero, the love of my life for the last 26 and a half years.
Somehow there are comparisons made so often, which is interesting. Comparisons with Kanye and myself. I don't quite get it.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
312-642-5600 is our number. You can also always reach us on our turnkey.pro text line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Amy Jacobson here, along with Bruce Wolf, who's sitting in today and tomorrow, for one Dan Proft, who's taking a little break. And, I thought he'd take some time off and relax. Well, turns out he's actually in New York with Priebus, the RNC chairman, and Donald Trump, trying to convince Donald Trump not to run as a third-party candidate.
Dan, is he like a mover and shaker or something on this?
I don't know if you know that. Your former radio partner, husband, is very active in the political world.
Well, I did know that, but I didn't realize that he actually, what is he going to midwife a deal here between? you know who reminds me of Trump a lot?
Who?
Dan Proft.
I know.
And here's
I had a dream about that too.
I had a dream. Here's the thing.
Because I think if Donald Trump, sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No,
but
go ahead.
I think if Donald Trump is successful, Dan Proft.
Anybody can be.
No, Dan Proft can be successful because Dan is somebody like Trump. He tells it like it is. Doesn't care what you think about him.
He's a wise guy.
And just says it. But Dan Proft is much more politically savvy and astute than Donald Trump.
Well, right. Obviously much more astute because Dan Proft finished in 5th place or 6th place out of 7 candidates in the Republican primary in 2010. Who could be more astute than that? Hey. Donald Trump only has like 59% of the vote already. But here's the thing. Dan, at one of the debates, it was on Channel 7, okay? And this is serious. And they were... all the candidates were asked, about their hardscrabble existence. And you had, I think, one of them say that, his father was a mailman. Oh, no, that's Kasich. Whatever. Uh-huh. Dan said, I was a little, like everyone else, I was a poor black child or something. Yeah. He said that. Now, that's Trumpian. It's more clever than Trump.
It certainly is provocative.
And that's why Dan doesn't like Trump. Yeah, because he's looking in the mirror there.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But the big story this morning, of course, and we've been following it all morning long, is the brutal shooting, the gunning down, the ambush, so to speak, of Lieutenant Joe Glenovich. Last night, 2 vigils were held, and his wife, Mel, came forward and spoke for the very first time.
Joe was my best friend, my world, my hero, the love of my life for the last 26 and a half years. He was my rock as much as I was his rock. My world got a little bit smaller with his passing. He will truly be missed by all of us.
I mean, everyone said he was, a cop's cop. He was a guy's guy. He absolutely loved what he did. A police officer on the streets for 32 years, just about to retire. And the whole community has, been stunned and they've been numbed by their grief. But also, they've been living in fear because these 3 suspects are still on the lam. And with that, we join Ruth Hogan. She's the owner of Paradise Jewelry and Treasure, and she also is a Fox Lake resident. Good morning, Ruth. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So what is the atmosphere like? What is it? How has your life changed in the past 2 days?
Well, it's pretty scary out there. Every place you go, you see everybody's faces where you used to see smiles are now fear.
Had you ever met Lieutenant Glenowitz?
Oh, many times. And
when people say that he is the mascot of Fox Lake, so to speak, that Is that true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. G.I. Joe, as most people know him, was just an absolute wonderful, wonderful man.
Well, is anybody going outside? I mean, is anybody coming to your place, or what's going on?
We do have, quite a few customers coming in, and every customer that comes in says the same thing, just be careful out there, and we're all being really very careful. We're taking extra precautions, to protect ourselves.
Do you have a gun?
We do. I actually have my conceal and carry, so I always, carry anyway. But this is just really reconfirmed why I got my conceal and carry, and especially in the business that I'm in, to protect myself and my family, because my children both work with me. And, this is scary times. It's not something that was supposed to ever happen in our small little town.
Yeah, 10,000 people live there.
small.
And you're talking about your family, Renee and Brittany. And the reason why we got a hold of you and got in touch with you is because I saw just a really moving picture of them in the Chicago Tribune yesterday. They were standing along, I think it was Rand Road or Satan Road, and they were holding signs, "We stand with blue." Tell me what was behind that.
Well, we really stand behind, our police force and all of the law enforcement that were out there to help find these three killers. And we just wanted to get the word out that it's so important to please just support them and know that they're just doing their job. And unfortunately, Joe had to give his life to protect us. These three thugs were just looking for trouble, and unfortunately, Joe got in the middle of that. And, my heart goes out to his family and to all of his friends, because he's going to be dearly missed.
Yeah, it's been a perilous year for law enforcement. This is the 24th cop shot in the U.S. so far this year. Do you believe that there is an attack on police? And if so, do you think the Black Lives Matter hashtag has anything to do with it?
I don't know. And I hope that they're not targeting police officers, law enforcement in any way. I certainly hope not. I know that there's a lot of violence out there. It just seems like the world is just getting crazier and crazier. The pastor that spoke last night was talking about everybody coming together, and I really see our town really coming together through this. And it sometimes takes tragedy like this to bring a village together. And I believe together we're going to make a difference. And at least I hope that people are seeing this and seeing how we all should come together and support our law enforcement. Last night, there was some crazy woman that called in a report, and she had law enforcement all over.
Scared my daughter who lives in Volo. I got a call at 1:15 in the morning. There's choppers over my house, and my son-in-law was out of town on business, and she's got 3 kids, and she was scared. She was terrorized.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was scary times. Scary times. I was listening on the scanner. My daughter also lives over there too, and I called her right away and just said, make sure all your doors are locked. And of course, she said, "Mom, of course they are." But it's scary times. I never thought that we would have to live like this. I hope that they catch them, and we can go back to some peace and be united.
Ruth Hogan, lifelong resident of Fox Lake, also owner of Paradise Jewelry and Treasure. Ruth, does your gut feeling tell you that these 3 people that they're looking for are locals, or do you think they're drifters? What is your gut telling you?
Unfortunately, I think that they may be local. All the townspeople talk, and everybody gets together, and it's like 3 drifters in our town. It's, very unusual. Not saying that they're not out there. Of course they are, but I just hope that they have left the area, and that they're long gone. But I also hope that they get caught and get brought to justice, so the family, can have some peace, and all of us can have some peace.
Don't want to engage in rumor, okay? But, I mean, you did say that you think they're locals because you don't really usually have drifters there. But, I mean, is there any kind of feeling about,
Or concrete evidence. I mean, eventually, these guys are going to talk. Somebody in their family is going to talk.
Right. Who's
correct,
yeah.
correct.
But is there any
that's what
feeling about where the area? I mean, Fox Lake's a small town, but where they're from or
Fox
whatever.
Lake is a very small town, and the fact that they knew to go towards the marsh area, kind of worries me because not many people know what's back there. To go to that area. I myself had no idea. I've lived here, all my life. I had no idea that, there was even a marshy area back there that, they could hide in and they could run to. So that's really what I'm going on, the fact that they knew that, to go, to get away, to go towards that area. Maybe it was just dumb luck. Maybe they were drifters and it was just dumb luck that they happened to go into an area that was going to be hard to, spot them. But it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. They have a lot of people looking for them. And, a lot of the people are angry. And I just hope that they find them.
Yeah, well, Ruth, we thank you so much for your time this morning. Is your shop open? Did you guys ever close your doors?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we closed the very first day, not only, for our safety, but also because we wanted to, show our support, for the law enforcement and for Joe, who gave his life, like I said, to protect us. But no, we are open and ready for business.
All right. Thank you so much, Ruth Hogan, for joining us, owner of Paradise Jewelry and Treasure. And quickly, I wanted to mention, we talked about that girl, I shouldn't say that, the 30-year-old woman. She's from Vernon Hills, but last night at 9:20, she called police claiming that 2 men approached her car in Volo and later fled into a cornfield. So for 5 hours, one of my friends who's a federal agent, 5 hours, federal, state, and local authorities scoured this area for 5 hours. And then she admitted that she fabricated the story. Quote, are you ready for this? Because she wanted attention from a family where she was employed as a nanny. Well, she's not going to be nannying today. Today, she's going to be appearing in a courtroom.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, what Bruce Wolf had to go through last night with his daughter.
It's all about me.
Yeah, it is. Enough about me. What do you think of me? And we'll take your phone calls, 312-642-5600.
What voice do you want me to do the weather in?
I'd like the Ron Burgundy, which I requested earlier. Can you please do the weather in that voice?
I can't do Ron Burgundy, but I can do a little Bill Curtis for you. Okay, probably.
Let's go with Billy Boy.
Today, warm and humid with some sun, a PM shower or thunderstorm around. A high of 88. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 69. Walter?
Tomorrow, periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorms around. Warm and humid, high of 85, Mr. Mayor. Low tomorrow night, 68.
And now it's time for a check of traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you very much, Bruce, Bill, and Walter. Good morning, Amy. Eden's inbound. Slow going, Devon to the junction, but Kennedy now jammed up. It's 30 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 33 and the Kennedy. Delay starting at Harlem, an hour and 2 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, it's a lot quicker in the Express. Outbound 38 minutes downtown to the airport. Inbound Ike, an hour. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 43 minutes. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive delays are southbound Irving Park to Fullerton, northbound from Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State now looking good, but northbound it's jammed. 95th to Ogden with road work on the exit ramp. And Roosevelt to Grand Avenue. The other tollways still have some delays too. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Hot pot of coffee!
Sometimes you just want a burger and a beer. You want to go to a place you love, where the food is still made by hand and brought to your table with a side of great customer service. You want to go where the beer is cold and the bartender will remember your beverage of choice the next time you walk in the door. No franchise food here, just comfort food like bowls of homemade chili, soups, and huge juicy burgers made from fresh, locally sourced beef. You know you want to go there right now, and the door is open waiting for you. It's Nick's Tavern in historic downtown Lamont. Nick's Tavern has been hosting generations of patrons since 1945, and now they want you to discover why men and women alike order a burger before they even order a beer, and why a cozy local tavern will make you feel like you're at home. That's Nick's Tavern at 221 Main Street in downtown Lamont. Open 7 days a week. Visit nickstavernlamont.net for hours and menu. Nick's Tavern is a proud sponsor of Feed the Children.
According to the AARP, the number one fear of people about to retire is running out of money. Are you confident that your retirement nest egg is sufficient to last you through retirement? If not, let Jack Taboto of Taboto & Associates help you develop a predictable yet flexible retirement income plan that allows you to spend with confidence while maintaining your lifestyle during retirement. If you saved at least $200,000 for retirement, call us now to schedule a retirement income analysis. This is a complimentary, no-obligation review where you can discover how to maximize your Social Security benefits, how to protect your nest egg from potentially higher taxes, and the rising cost of health care. Call Jack and his team at 630-777-7955. That's 630-777-7955. To schedule your complimentary, no-obligation retirement income analysis, call right now, 630-777-7955. Investment advisory services offered through Global Financial Private Capital, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
I was the father of 3 children, a husband of a wonderful wife. On January 18th, 1989, I died. When I woke up, I was in heaven.
Experience the incredible true story based on the New York Times bestseller by Pastor Don Piper. This fall, Hope Lives.
You prayed? I'm here.
90 Minutes in Heaven. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters September 11th. Find a theater at 90minutsinheaventhemovie.com.
It's Feldco's biggest sale. All windows, siding, and doors installed for free. That's right. All windows installed for free. All doors installed for free. All siding installed for free. Buy now and pay later with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 1 year. It's Feldco's biggest sale. Hurry, Feldco's free installation ends Monday. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Bruce Wolf, every time I sit down with you and we spend some quality time together on the radio, I learn more and more about you. And I did not know that you knew Sean from Elmwood Park long before I did.
I think I created Sean, like Shakespeare created the human. I think Sean would give me credit for creating him. I'm not sure.
Well, let's go straight to the source. Here is Sean from Elmwood Park. Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Very good, very good. And Bruce is absolutely, absolutely correct.
You getting choked up?
It was on a Saturday. I was working, and he was trying to explain supply-side economics and getting it 100% wrong.
Thank you.
I said, what is this guy talking about? And I remember him because I always thought, I love the hair. It was the George Michael's hair. It was the Zeke Cavaricci's and the shoulder-padded suit jackets. I was always a big Bruce Wolf fan, but I never liked his little, the Lilliputian munchkin that followed you around, who now is Luke Canellis on 32. Sure. Oh, God, I can't even watch it anymore. But,
hey, Sean, what do you think of there's the emails that the Duchess of Chafington, as you call her, is embroiled with right now?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, this is criminal. To me, this is putting all of our safety at risk with this certain arrogance that only a Clinton, who wants us to believe she's really Bill Clinton's wife and not Huma's husband, only somebody like that would think that you could get away with it. It was no big deal. And listen, I am the Duchess of Chafington. I will do. You will listen. That's only something that Clinton could have. And that arrogance isn't just to Democrats. It also goes to Ryan Priebus, the NAACP slip-and-fall liberal lawyer, who now wants a guy in the Republican primary to give a pledge that he will not leave the party. When much like our government, the Republican Party has been overthrown from within. Whether it's a subversive, speaking sedition, stoking a war
Sean,
on cops like we have now.
Wait, and Sean, I've made a pledge that I would be on time today. But thanks so much for calling in.
Call in Jonathan Brandweier.
Well, I think that's a super philosophy, Sean.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Home Improvement and Remodeling Expo that Bob Vila promotes is coming back to the Lake County Fairgrounds September 19th and 20th. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or you're in the market for a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this free 2-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their best products and services. Get fresh ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new fence, deck, gutter protection, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and impress your friends and family by getting the hottest home updates. Pick the brains of the experts and hire your next remodeling contractor at the upcoming Home Improvement and Remodeling Expo, September 19th and 20th at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake. This is the Home Expo Bob Vila promotes, and admission and parking are free. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
Life happens. That's why it's important to be covered. Sure, buying term life insurance is not at the top of your to-do list, but you know you should have it to protect your business, your family, your assets, and most importantly, yourself. And now you have lots of choices with LifeQuotes.com. Don't have time to visit the doctor? It's easy. LifeQuotes.com has solved the worst problem with getting life insurance, the medical exam. Compare and choose from over 50 leading providers for the lowest possible rates in the privacy of your own home on your time. Most plans require no medical exam. You'll save more because you're buying direct, not through a middleman. Log on to lifequotes.com or call 1-800-640-LIFE for a free quote. Life insurance is at an all-time low, so don't wait. Protect yourself today because life happens. 1-800-640-LIFE. Plan availabilities vary by state.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next, Rod Carey will be here, head coach of your NIU Huskies. We'll get the latest. Their first game is this Saturday, and you can hear it right here on AM 560, The Answer. But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here is a gritty guy, Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Partly sunny, 77 degrees. Lake County sheriffs say a woman lied to authorities about seeing two suspicious men near where a police officer was fatally shot this week. Authorities say 30-year-old Kristen Kiefer of Vernon Hills has been charged with disorderly conduct and falsifying a police report. Sheriffs say Lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz was shot and killed Tuesday in Fox Lake, and their search continues.
Law enforcement is here to support them. We're here to keep the community safe. We're here to stay, and we're going to go hand in hand with the residents of Fox Lake to ensure their security during this time.
Lake County Major Crimes Task Force Commander George Falinko says the task force is looking into more data and information that's being gathered locally in and around Fox Lake.
State Police has offered to provide us data intel resource specialist that's going to vet some of that information because it's being replicated and triplicated.
A U.S. Marine is dead this morning. 7 others are injured following an incident during a training exercise last night at Camp Lejeune. Base officials in North Carolina said this morning that a CH-53 helicopter made what they call a hard landing last night. Jeb Bush says his first reaction was to laugh at Donald Trump's criticism of him for speaking Spanish at an event in Miami. Trump telling Breitbart News that Bush should set an example by speaking English. While Bush tells ABC's Good Morning America he was simply replying to a reporter's question that was asked in Spanish.
The fact that he would say you only can speak English is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. Are we going to close all the foreign language classes? Why would he have a contract with Univision for his beauty pageant? I mean, this is a diverse country. We should celebrate that diversity.
Jeb Bush on ABC's Good Morning America. 4 more cases of Legionnaire's disease and 1 death being reported in Quincy at an Illinois veterans home. Right now that death toll is at 8. Governor Rauner's veto of a union arbitration bill will stand as the Illinois House fell short yesterday of the votes needed to override his veto. Mayor Rahm Emanuel may be rethinking that idea of holding public budget hearings. The second of 3 scheduled this week was cut short last night when demonstrators jumped up on a stand where the mayor and others were waiting to speak. They were protesting the Dyett High School closure at the South Shore Cultural Center. And a company that made a hoverboard that actually really works is now developing what Star Trek fans may call a tractor beam. The California company ARX Pax, or ARX Pax, announced yesterday It has entered into an agreement with NASA to use the company's technology to manipulate satellites from a distance. The CEO saying its magnetic field architecture technology could be used to move a satellite around without making physical contact. Details of the technology have not yet been revealed. Minnesota beat the White Sox 3-0. Cincinnati over the Cubs 7-4. NFL tonight, it will be the Bears and Browns closing out the NFL preseason. The news, a service of Cabela's Fall Great Outdoors Days going on now. Spend $150, get $25 in Cabela's Bucks, good toward your next purchase. See store for details. And don't miss their biggest sale and event of the season going on now at Cabela's. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes we haven't seen the last of Joe Biden.
Joe Biden huddling with Elizabeth Warren at his residence over the weekend unexpectedly. He summoned Elizabeth Chief Pocahontas Warren. I'm telling you, I've been saying it all along. Joe Biden's going to run. Get ready for a Biden-Warren ticket.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's Fall Great Outdoor Days are going on now. Spend $150 and get $25 in Cabela's Bucks, good towards your next purchase. See store for details. Hurry into a Cabela's nearest you.
I'm Lex, CEO of Balance of Nature. At Balance of Nature, we believe in real communication. Whether you call into the office or hear a success story on the radio, you can be sure it's real, unsolicited, and unscripted conversation.
I was on thyroid medicine for 5 years. I have completely got off of it, and all my blood work came back excellent.
It does a lot of good for me because I feel it works. The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down, and it's normal now.
When you can give your body a full variety of 31 different fruits and vegetables in their 100% natural, whole food form, you receive the unmatched balance of nutrition. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
8:35 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the latest on your morning commute. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. It's very heavy on the inbound Kennedy Expressway with delays starting around Harlem. It is an hour and 2 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. Though as I say that, the travel time just dropped to around 55 minutes, but still heavy. 30 minutes from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Outbound 35 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 32 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 33. The Eisenhower, an hour from Thorndale to the post office, and 43 minutes from Manheim, outbound 43 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. The Ryan, it is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive delays southbound Irving Park to Fullerton, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State stop and go 95th to Ogden with road work on the exit ramp to westbound Ogden. And slow Roosevelt to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway stop and go 31 to 59 and Elmhurst Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. Reagan Tollway slow Randall to Eola and Roosevelt to the Tri-State. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935. The latest on your forecast, warm and humid today in Kevin Snyder's forecast. Some sunshine this morning, a shower or thunderstorm around possible this afternoon, high 89. Partly cloudy and humid, 69 overnight. 74 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan. Continuing next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, powered by Tandem HR and sponsored by Everett College Funding. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
You know what that song means? It's the NIU Huskies fight song, and AM 560, The Answer, is home of the Huskies for a second year in a row. And Rod Carey, Coach Carey, head coach, you know, he started coordinating the run game, then coaching the offensive line, and then offensive coordinator.
All I
and
know
then
is that
became
Northern
the
Beach
coach of Northern Illinois
I'm sorry,
University. It's all right.
I'm not Dan. I shouldn't step over you.
Oh, it's okay.
No, they just beat your alma mater, Iowa.
Well, no, actually, they beat us twice in a row. I believe at Soldier Field. I was there both times.
It's a Big Ten team.
Yeah. But it's a great football program head by a great coach, Rod Carey, and he joins us now on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Coach Carey. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Bruce. How are you guys?
Terrific. So how's it going to go this year? It's not a couple of years ago in the Orange Bowl and everything, right?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Amy, first I probably should apologize to you for beating Iowa, right? It's probably a sore subject.
It's okay. I've gotten over it. Time heals wounds.
There you go. I hear you. Now we're excited. We open up, Saturday here, 6:30. We have UNLV coming in here, and it should be a great crowd on a great night. Looks like great weather, and I know our guys are ready to hit another color jersey. I mean, we've been in camp now for over a month, so they're ready for a game. So I'm really excited. As a coach, you're always nervous in that first game, so you never know what you really got until you get into that first game. But we're excited.
Who do you think a few standout players will be this year?
Well, I think, our quarterback is back, Drew Hare. He had a nice year last year, first year starting, and led us to a championship. And then, he's back, and he's a junior, and he's made some great strides. And then we got Tommy Lee Lewis back, who missed all of last year with an injury, but in 2013 was an All-American. And then we got Perez Ford probably on the other side of the ball, and Boomer Mays, a defensive end and a linebacker, who you'll probably hear their name called quite a bit as well, which is always a good thing. They're coming back, and they're both in their second and third year starting respectively.
So, Coach, I'm looking at the story in the world's greatest newspaper yesterday, the Tribune, that the university is dangling the promise of free spring tuition to one lucky student who attends each home game and stays to the end, starting with the game against UNLV at 6:30, trying to juice up the attendance a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Our students have always been really, really strong supporters of us. They're right behind our bench, so we hear them and they are loud, and it's great. And I think that's a great thing for President Baker and Sean Frazier to go ahead and initiate RAD. And if I was a student, I'd be hanging out the whole time.
Can I go back to school? Because that sounds like a great gig. So if you attend every home game, you get to get in a raffle to be chosen to get free tuition.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, think how happy your parents would be.
Oh, yeah. And then you get to see the football games as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, just hanging out, I get free tuition. I get a chance at it. That's not a bad deal at all.
So, Coach Carey, when you look at the Mid-American Conference League, where do you think you'll be on top this year, and who will be your strongest competitor?
Well, it's early. Like I say, we haven't played a game yet, but I like our chances of, having an opportunity to be in there. But our the MAC is split into two sides, West and East, and the West side we have Toledo, Western Michigan, Ball State, Eastern Michigan, and Central Michigan. On our side, there isn't a bad team in there. They're all really, really strong teams, and it's those are close games every year. So when you get into conference play, it's kind of like having a fight with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're going to fight, and you fight, and whoever lands the last punch wins.
Your players haven't unionized, have they?
No. We're on the other end of that spectrum.
I see.
But you have some tough competition. I mean, this year you play Boston College, obviously, and then the others, that are in the Mid-American Conference team. How did and you're not playing Iowa this year, and that's kind of disappointing because I thought we could finally redeem ourselves and beat you.
Yeah, well, we traded out Iowa for Ohio State this year in the Big Ten, so. That'll be a good game. And then we go out to BC. But Aim, get on the phone, see if we can get that Iowa game back. Let's see what you can do.
I'll work my sources for you.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you play UNLV Rebels this Saturday, September 5th, and you can hear it here on AM 560. The Answer. We're so glad to once again be partnering up with the NIU Huskies.
Yeah, well, you guys are great partners, and we sure appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you guys again.
All right. Thank you, Coach Carey. He joins us on our Turnkey.pro Northern Illinois Husky answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one. Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, he tackled a would-be terrorist. Now he's dancing with the stars. How did that happen, and is it appropriate? We'll take your calls, 312-642-5600. But first, here's your forecast.
Today it's going to be warm and humid with some sun, a PM shower or thunderstorms around, a high of 88. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and humid, a low of 69 tomorrow. Periods of sun with a shower or thunderstorm around. Warm and humid, high of 85, low tomorrow night, 68. I'm a staff announcer with a list, and now it's time for the traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, Amy. On the Kennedy inbound, the travel times come down a bit. It's 50 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown with the delay starting around Sayre. Express lanes only save you a couple of minutes now. Outbound, 35 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 32 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, 33. It's slow out to Lake Avenue. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour. Thorndale to the post office, 43 minutes from Manheim. Outbound, 43 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown, but quicker in the Express. Northbound Tri-State, jammed 95th to Ogden. Roosevelt to North Avenue. Adams Tollway still really slow, 31 to 59. Reagan Tollway from Randall to Wiola, and the Veterans Memorial from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow. And like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat. I would flip-flop all night long. I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed. It's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
To get your 2 MyPillows for the price of one, call 800-489-0201 and please use the promo code Amy. Or you can go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code Amy. That's 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Either way, don't forget the promo code AMY.
Merlin 200,000-mile shops are offering car owners 40 hints for money-saving motoring.
Hint number 4.
Worn-out tires can cost you a lot more than new tires.
It's true. In the long run, badly worn tires put stress on suspension parts,
which can lead to real expensive repairs.
Worn tires have poor traction.
That's why so many families are riding on Merlin 200,000-mile warranty tires.
What's your family riding on?
Stop in at your local Merlin 200,000-mile shop for details and a free tire inspection today.
At Merlin, more life for you and your car.
If you've been making trails all summer, now's the time to get ready for fall. Follow the trail to your local Merlin shop for a free tire inspection. And right now, you can get up to a $70 rebate on a set of Ford General tires during the Making Trails promotion. Go to merlins.com for locations, coupons, and to make an appointment.
This is Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Opportunity Project. 66. That's the percentage of fourth graders in the state of Illinois who neither read nor do math at a fourth grade level. 2/3 of the children among the 2.1 million grammar school students in the state are falling behind before they get to fourth grade. Is this a state spending problem? State spending on K through 12 education has increased by more than 60% in real terms during the past 2 decades. Perhaps it's how the money is spent rather than how much of it is spent. And perhaps it's time to rethink how we do K through 12 education in the 21st century. Things like at what grade level we teach foreign languages, in what order do we teach science, and the length of the school day. This should sound an alarm for those in charge of funding and administering K through 12 education in Illinois to finally force real system change. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. That website, upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce, you and I have something in common besides both working with Dan Proft.
We're both beautiful blondes.
Exactly. Yes. No, besides that, we have participated in competitive dance.
Yes.
Through Arthur Murray. You know, it's if you're not first, you're last. That's how that works.
Exactly.
But I heard from my people that I came in third place.
I
during
heard
my
from my
competition.
people that I was like last.
Really?
The guy who won, this was to benefit
breast cancer
research. And there's 500 people there, and it's the Arthur Murray Studios. I took like 30 dance lessons.
Oh yeah, it was
intense.
vigorous. Yeah.
I did Putting on the Ritz. Okay.
I remember I watched you that year.
Okay.
I came to support you.
I'm doing Putting on the Ritz. I'm in this outfit, and I got a wonderful dancer who's leading me along.
They're all hot.
My daughter took a video of it.
Mm-hmm.
My father-in-law was not trying to joke when he said, "Were you trying to imitate young Frankenstein in doing Putting on the Ritz?" No, I was actually trying to be graceful like Fred Astaire. And you think that you're graceful and you're not.
Uh-huh.
The next year or 2 years later, Dan Proft entered the competition.
And he did such a great job. I went and watched him. Now, he should have won. That I want to recall
on that.
He was a
break dancer.
I know.
You believe a stick in the mud like Dan Proft
and he can
is
dunk.
a break dancer?
And he can dunk.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he wears one heck of a mullet before we got that shaved off. I'm Dan, this has got to change. The
only thing I can say is that even though he can hit a golf ball 500 yards, he had to suffer through me getting a hole in one in front of him.
Oh, you got a hole.
A hole in one in front of him. Anyway, as far as the dancing goes,
wow.
It was a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrific. The guy who won it that year was Desmond Clark, who was a tight end for the Chicago Bears.
Yes, I know.
He's a
Desmond.
choreographer.
Mm-hmm.
Or he dances into the end zone. I couldn't win that.
Well, the reason why we're talking about this is because yesterday ABC announced 4 new contestants on this season of Dancing with the Stars, and one is Alec Scarlatos. You remember him? He's the Army National Guard specialist who was on that French train, bound from, is bound to, on its way to France from Amsterdam, and he stopped a would-be terrorist.
I just looked over at Spencer and said, "Let's go."
Army National Guardsman Alex Scarlatos and his friends leapt into action.
Spencer got to the guy first, grabbed the guy by the neck, and everybody just started beating on the guy while Spencer held the chokehold until he went unconscious.
I mean, these guys are true heroes.
He's a hero, but what's he doing at Dancing with the Stars?
And that was just 2 weeks ago. So he went
who else is
that.
on it? Like the Minnesota dentist who killed Cecil the lion?
No.
Is he on Dancing with the Stars?
No, it's just it's a quick turnaround, a little quick for me. Gary Busey's there. I do believe he's from Rolling Meadows. Bindi Irwin, Steve Irwin's daughter's on it. Chicago and Chaka Khan's on it. But they popped this guy out yesterday, and I thought maybe a little too soon. I don't know. To go from that, I mean, can you imagine just how his life has changed in 2 weeks?
I don't blame him for doing it, but I'd like ideally just to be the hero and just,
wear that cap,
ride off into the sunset, not dance with the stars. I don't think that's ideally, but maybe, I don't blame him for capitalizing.
And also, there are a few reality TV stars that are going to be participating. One from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know, watch the show, but she's a tall, beautiful blonde. And then the other is Toni Braxton's sister. I guess they have some reality TV show. I don't watch reality TV, so I don't know who these people are.
I've never watched Dancing with the Stars. I don't watch that. No.
Oh,
I just watch Fox News 24/7.
And then here's a woman that surprised me. They brought her out at the last minute. Remember Paula Deen?
I want to apologize to everybody for the wrong that I've done. I want to learn and grow from this. Inappropriate, hurtful language is totally, totally unacceptable.
What did she apologize for?
I've made plenty of mistakes along the way, but I beg you, my children, my team, my fans, my partners, I beg for your forgiveness. Please forgive me.
For what did she do again? Say something in private?
No, she was doing giving a deposition.
Oh, she said
and during the
at
deposition, they asked, that racially insensitive language was being used in the kitchen. So she was being sued by one of her former employees, and then they released parts of the deposition, and then they took away her cooking show. Her restaurant eventually closed.
Where did she use the
life
racially insensitive language?
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen of the show?
In the kitchen of the restaurant that they owned. So she and her brother owned a restaurant, and that's where it took place. Regardless, the lawsuit never went anywhere, and she lost everything. She didn't, but she has, give her credit, she has rebuilt her career. She's back being a celebrity chef, and now she's appearing on Dancing with the Stars.
And she's lost weight, right?
I think she gained it back.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
10,000 baby boomers a day are turning 65, and that's for the next 17 years. Tune in to Aging Info Radio this Sunday at 9 a.m. to catch conversations regarding healthy aging, elder care, boomer and senior lifestyles, wealthy retirement, and related topics to keep us all moving forward on our aging journey. So join Susie Zawacki and her guests on Aging Info Radio for boomers and seniors, aging but not growing old. Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 560. The Answer. Presented by ControlMyCare.info.
847-926-0700. This number can bring thousands of extra dollars right to your pocket. The Art House Gallery is back in Chicago. Do you have any jewelry or diamonds, silver, or antiques, paintings, porcelain, Fabergé, high-end pocket or wristlet watches, Rolex, Patek Philippe, IWC, Cartier, Tiffany, or Breitling? If you do, call the Art House Gallery now at 847-926-0700 and get your cash today. Meet in their office in Highland Park or in the privacy of your own home or bank. Call now, 847-926-0700.
AM 560. The Answer.
So, Bruce, do you go online a lot? Do you surf the web?
I did not access that porn site. I did
not.
not.
It's not a porn site. This is the Ashley Madison site where they encourage, or it's a place to go for married men to find hookups and to have affairs.
But there were no women. There were no women on Ashley Madison.
No,
you know
there's
that?
A few,
no. There were no women.
Signed up to Ashley Madison?
Right. It was
it's
just
because we have more respect for ourselves.
No. They thought they were, going to be accessing women. It was a fraud. There were no women on Ashley Madison.
But no, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
Josh
All right.
dug her because he had an affair with two of the women, and he's come clean and said that, yes, he met them at hotel rooms and did nefarious things. And also remember the Casey Anthony prosecutor, Jeff Ashton. He got busted.
While I indulged my curiosity about the site, it never went beyond that. While no laws have been broken, these were incredibly stupid choices. I asked for the public's forgiveness for my shortcomings, but those choices have had absolutely no impact on the performance of my official duties.
Or his performance with his wife.
Yes. Well, they're still together. They're still married. She has forgiven him. But Ashley Madison this morning is claiming that the hack has helped their business. They say hundreds of thousands of people have signed up for the infidelity website now that this has happened.
They're making it
up. You think
there are
so?
no women on the site. They're making it up.
Don't get it right, get it on. Let's go quickly to Chuck from Delavan, Wisconsin. Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, it's Claude. You know who I am. Bruce, you just can't help yourself. You were on the good list all the way up until you just couldn't help yourself by making that comment about Paula Deen if she lost any weight, that she could dance.
Oh, all right.
I'm
He's
sorry.
up. He's up.
It's because I've gained back some. Okay.
He took the pounds that she lost.
You own a European auto because you love the way it feels, the way it handles when you make a turn or when you step on the gas. Style and performance. It's not a car. You own a special engineering work of art. For maintenance and repair, go to a place that loves your car as much as you do. This is Dan Proft for Midwest Performance Cars. They have a saying, dealerships replace parts, we fix cars.
Midwest Performance Cars has all the services of a dealer, but with more care and less money. They know your car and love it as much as you do. Midwest Performance Cars specializes in repairs and maintenance of European autos, including Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Land Rover. How good are they? Go ahead, read the Google and Yelp reviews. Ask your friends. Partner with Midwest Performance Cars for the repair and long-term maintenance of your European auto. Located in Chicago's West Loop at the corner of Lake and Ogden. Free Lyft and Uber shuttle service because you want convenience. MidwestPerformanceCars.com. That website, MidwestPerformanceCars.com. The dealer alternative. An expert source for European auto maintenance and repair.
When news breaks, he's there at the heart of the story.
There is no better way to show you the scope of our lead story than from the air.
Beating is the word we're taking right now. It is, in fact, a taste of freedom.
When lives change, he's there to listen.
You want your child to be able to walk outside and feel safe and feel like they're important.
When it really matters, you can depend on him.
There's a lot to try and understand here and much to learn.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
Thank you so much for making us a part of your morning. Thank you, Bruce Wolf, for sitting in for Dan Proft, and we'd love to have you back again tomorrow.
Thank you.
And David Stripling, excellent job, and Cesar Perez, the executive producer.
Shake and bake.
And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say hello again to Mike Scott.
But only if he brings breakfast. Here are the stories we're following this morning. Fox Lake holds a vigil to remember a fallen police officer. A union arbitration override vote fails in the Illinois House. Mayor Emanuel